The story begins with Princess Alit of the Rizit Kingdom. Once, she was taking a walk outside the palace in the snow without her guards. Suddenly, a group of people attacked her. Alit was good at martial arts, so she bravely fought back, saved her own life, and returned to the palace in a fit of anger. Alit angrily confronted her aunt Mona, claiming that she was the one who sent people after her. Faced with that harsh accusation, Mona kept her cold tone and asked back that there were countless other enemies in this palace who hated Alit, so why did she believe that she wanted to end her life? Alit didn't hide her anger, and said straight out that Mona never wanted her to become the crown princess of the country. Mona hit back without holding anything back, saying that Alit didn't deserve that position at all. She lacked experience, acted disrespectfully, was arrogant, and would never understand the people's problems. Feeling insulted, Alit fiercely argued back, saying she was 10,000 times better than Mona, and at the same time exposed the fact that Mona had married her own husband's older brother. In fact, Mona was Alit's stepmother. After Alit's father passed away, she remarried Andre, her father's older brother. Just as the tension ran high, Andre showed up. He yelled at Alit because he thought she didn't know how to behave in the palace. Alit didn't back down and coldly said she was only telling the truth. Mona, her stepmother, had married her own uncle, and because Andre broke royal rules by marrying his younger brother's wife, he couldn't take the throne. She even pointed out directly that because of that crown, Andre and Mona wanted to harm her, and if Andre hadn't married Mona, the throne probably would have been his a long time ago. Andre angrily turned to look at the portrait of the late king, his father, with a voice full of resentment. He thought the king made a mistake by giving the heavy responsibility of ruling a big country to a child. After that, Alit went to see her grandfather. The king got angry when he found out she had been attacked but still dared to go out alone without her guards. Alit calmed him down, saying she was fine and just wanted to go out for a bit to get some fresh air. Even so, he warned her in a serious tone that from now on she had to be more careful, because she was about to become the heir to the crown and her safety was tied to the fate of the whole country. Alit promised to never do it again. Then, the bodyguards Tetra and Kisi came to apologize for letting Alit leave the palace alone. Alit gently said it wasn't their fault, because she was the one who forbade them from following her. Right at that moment, the sound of breaking glass rang out. Alit walked over to check and saw Alan angrily throwing a glass at her picture. Alan was Andrea's son, which meant he was Alit's cousin. She coldly asked him what kind of useless trick he was pulling in her own palace. Alan sarcastically replied that he was celebrating the fact that she was about to become the heir to the crown with premium beer. Alit told Alan he should learn how to behave like his older sister, Kat. Alan immediately objected, calling Kat a fool who didn't know how to defend herself, and claimed he couldn't be like her. Devin continued to say that Kat was not his real sister, because she was the daughter of Andrea's first wife. That wife had passed away, and Kat was always quiet, living a closed-off life in the palace, so everyone thought she was gentle and easy to boss around. The jealousy in Alan flared up as he said straight out that the crown should have belonged to his father, but Alit had stolen it. Devin also threw out bitter words, accusing Alit of taking the life of her own biological mother, who passed away right after giving birth to her. Unable to hold back, Alit gave Alan a slap, her voice shaking with both anger and pain. She said she herself had never craved the crown princess position, and that it was a responsibility her grandfather had given her. If she had a choice, she would rather live a normal life. Alan didn't believe her words and stormed off angrily. Left alone, Alit suddenly remembered her childhood days, when she, Alan, and Kat used to play carefreely together. Back then, all three were innocent and carefree. No one thought about power or the crown that was making them distant and hostile like now. Next, in front of a large crowd of family members, Alit had a grand crowning ceremony hosted by her grandfather. That solemn ceremony officially established her as the rightful heir to the family line. Opposite to the congratulatory mood around them, Mona and Andre couldn't hide their annoyed and unsatisfied faces. Their eyes clearly showed jealousy and resentment. At the same time, Devin appeared with a handsome look and a calm vibe. Devin came to Rizit for work, but first stopped by the cemetery to visit the grave of his father, a former naval officer who had passed away. Devin placed a bouquet of white flowers on the grave and stood quietly for a long time in silence and respect. Also in that exact cemetery, Alit had just finished putting flowers on her father's grave. She quietly walked away, her face cold, her eyes carrying the loneliness and pressure of her new status. Those two people passed by each other in silence, very close, but neither saw the other, as if fate intentionally made them miss their first meeting. Devin then stopped to take a picture of a beautiful scene in the cemetery. While he was focusing on the camera lens, a strange girl sitting nearby suddenly spoke up, her voice deep and hard to understand, saying that no one could stop fate, that God had already set a path for him, and he would definitely meet her. Those vague and weird words made Devin feel confused and even a bit creeped out. Devin didn't answer and just quietly walked away. Not long after, Devin arrived at the train station. Coincidentally, Alit was also standing there waiting for the train. While she had no idea, a man holding a knife suddenly approached from behind with the intention to attack. Just as danger was close, Devin spotted it in time and rushed over to stop him. Devin pulled Alit to run away, and both of them hurriedly jumped onto a train that had just stopped. The attackers immediately chased after them. In a tense moment, Devon suddenly pulled Alit close and pretended to kiss her like a couple fighting and then making up, in order to distract them. Sure enough, the pursuers walked past them without noticing and kept searching in other cars. When the train reached the next station, Devon and Alit quickly got off. Devon looked at her full of doubt and worry, asking non-stop about her identity and why someone wanted to take her life. However, Alit only softly said a brief thank you, her eyes cold, and then turned her back to walk away without a single word of explanation. Devon stood there, both annoyed and confused. Devon muttered in anger, thinking she really was a weird girl. He had just saved her from danger, yet all he got in return was coldness and an annoyingly distant attitude. After that, Alit set off for Thailand to attend an important event. Security for this trip was given to the Bodyguard team directly led by Commander Kat. Everything went smoothly at first until that night, when Alit was getting ready to leave her room for the event venue. A group of people suddenly burst in. They quickly pinned her down and kidnapped her, acting so cleanly as if it was pre-planned. As soon as the situation was discovered, Bodyguard Tetra immediately reported the news to Commander Kat. Receiving the bad news, Kat stayed calm but his voice turned serious. He immediately ordered the whole team to contact Devon, confirming that only Devon was capable enough to track down and find Princess Alit in this emergency. Devon was originally a member under Commander Kat's team, so he was quickly called up to join the search operation. To avoid causing panic and to hide the fact that Alit was missing, Tetra and Kisi immediately rolled out their backup plan. They put makeup on and disguised a trustworthy girl named Dicha, turning her into an almost perfect clone of Alit, from her looks to her vibe. After that, Dicha was escorted to attend the event in place of the princess, in order to mislead the public and those who were watching. Dicha really looked so much like Alit that it was hard to tell them apart, enough to make the people there not suspect a thing. However, when Andre and Mona saw Alit show up at the event, both of them still couldn't hide their surprise. A look of confusion flashed in their eyes, as if they were absolutely sure before that Alit wouldn't be able to make it, making this appearance totally out of their expectations. On the other side, the kidnappers took Alit onto a boat. The boss was about to shoot Alit, but she fought them and jumped into the sea. After that, he fired his gun at Alit, causing her to get hurt and sink. The next morning, Devon was swimming in the sea when he saw Alit unconscious. Devon tried to give her CPR. As soon as Alit woke up, she slapped Devon's face because she thought he also wanted to harm her. Devon tried to stop her but accidentally tore her dress. Alit angrily pushed him away and ran off. Suddenly, Devon appeared in front of Alit. To stop her from attacking him again, he tied her hands together, his eyes serious as he questioned why she was drifting at sea and who shot her in the back. Alit demanded that he untie her hands first, but Devon was cautious, saying that if he untied her, he couldn't be sure she wouldn't strike again. Alit claimed she had never actively attacked anyone. Devon immediately brought up the slap she gave him right when she woke up, even though he hadn't done anything. She justified that she wasn't fully awake at that time, but Devon sarcastically said that if she could hit like that when she wasn't awake, she would be even more unpredictable when fully awake. Alit lost her patience and asked straight out if he would let her go or not. Devon replied that first she had to tell him who she was. Alit firmly refused, saying that even if he let her go, she still wouldn't reveal anything. After a brief hesitation, Devon untied her and coldly told her to go away and remember this. Alit said thank you and then left. Right when he heard that thank you, Devon suddenly realized she was the weird girl he had met before. Alit walked a little way into the forest before passing out from hunger and exhaustion. Devon found her again. Devon helped her wake up and gave her food. Alit ate in a rush, almost wolfing it down. Seeing that, Devon couldn't help but be surprised, thinking to himself that she looked like someone who hadn't eaten a full meal in a long time. Right at that moment, her pursuers showed up again. Devon immediately stepped up to face them, took them down and forced them to retreat. When things settled down, he asked Alit who those guys were. She just shook her head, saying she didn't know. Devon felt confused, thinking she was really weird. She was attacked in Rizit, then tracked all the way here, yet she still didn't know who her enemies were. Devon even suspected if she was a killer on the run. Alit calmly replied that since they met, she had never asked who he was, so he shouldn't question her either, because it was her private business. Devon explained that there were only 2 people on this island, so if she got hurt and the attacker left, he would most likely become the suspect. Even so, Alit stayed firmly silent, telling him not to ask anymore because she wouldn't say. Annoyed, Devon packed his things and announced he was leaving. Devon said that the next morning he would take her to a safe place, and after that, whether she lived or died would have nothing to do with him. Before leaving, he added that his friend would pick him up tomorrow. He knew a safe place and she could come along if she wanted. After a brief thought, Alit agreed to follow Devon to that safe place. Devon told Alit to sleep inside the tent, while he would sleep outside. Hearing that, Alit immediately pushed back, saying he only said that because she was a girl and assumed girls were weak. She insisted that the tent belonged to Devon, so he should be the one sleeping inside, and she would stay outside. That stubborn attitude made Devin secretly think this girl was truly very weird. Devin gave her a set of clothes to change into. While Alit was struggling to change, the zipper on her back suddenly got stuck. Devin walked over and suddenly zipped it up for her. Alit was startled because she couldn't react in time. Devin teased her, saying she couldn't even pull a zipper by herself, yet she acted so stubborn. Alit grumpily thanked him in a reluctant way. Devin reminded her to speak more softly, because if she kept that attitude, no one would ever want to help her again. Alit bluntly replied that it was just how she talked. Whoever wanted to help could help, and if not, whatever. Devin couldn't hide his annoyance, thinking she was in danger but still kept her arrogant look, wondering what kind of princess she was, and that asking others for help wouldn't kill her. Alit ignored his words, turning back to finish changing her clothes. Devin was furious, plopping down on his chair with a very unsatisfied look. When Alit finished changing and stepped out, Devin looked at her and commented that she actually looked pretty good in his clothes. Devin gave her food and repeated that she should sleep in the tent. Alit was still annoyed and about to object when Devin kept talking, explaining that he knew girls weren't weak, but it was very cold tonight, and sleeping in the tent would be safer and more comfortable for her. This time Alit didn't say anything else and nodded in agreement. She took out a pair of diamond earrings and gave them to Devin as a thank you. Devin immediately refused, saying he didn't need them. Alit insisted they were real, and he could totally sell them to buy gifts for his wife or girlfriend. Devin casually replied that he didn't have a girlfriend, so he didn't need the money either. Alit still firmly told him to just take them. Devin looked at her, saying what he needed wasn't those diamond earrings, but for her to be less arrogant and talk a bit more gently, because that would be far more valuable. After that, he introduced himself as Lieutenant Devin. Alit didn't shake his hand, just saying that when they reached the safe place tomorrow, she would tell him who she was, because if she told him now, he definitely wouldn't believe it. After saying that, Alit went back into the tent and lay down to sleep. Watching her silhouette fade behind the tent canvas, Devin smiled slightly, a passing but thoughtful smile. In another turn of events, the king called Andre and announced that he was personally going to Thailand. This news caught Andre by surprise, and he then immediately told Mona. After hearing this, Mona was extremely confused. She couldn't figure out why the king suddenly decided to go to Thailand at this time. At the same time, Commander Kat arranged for Dicha to keep pretending to be Alit, taking her place in Rizit to hide the fact that the real princess had disappeared. When Mona saw the fake Alit also getting ready to leave, she got even more panicked. If Alit was already in Rizit, then who exactly was the king going to Thailand to meet? A feeling of unease rose in Mona's heart, and she had a gut feeling that there must be some plot behind all of this. The next morning, Devin woke Alit up and gave her food, reminding her to eat if she didn't want to pass out again like the day before. Alit took the food, politely thanked him, and called him Lieutenant Devin. Devin told her to just use his first name, and also said he really wanted to get back quickly, because he was truly curious about who she actually was. During that time, Kat and Alan arrived in Thailand to visit their parents. Alan complained to Andre that he was bored to death and wanted to go party with his friends. Andre quickly calmed his son down, promising to handle everything so he could have a good time. Kat wasn't happy hearing that, blaming her father for spoiling Alan too much, making him only care about partying without achieving anything else. Andre immediately defended his youngest son, claiming that whatever Alan did was right, and scolded Kat to stop picking fights with her younger brother. After that, Mona took Kat into a private room, secretly showed her a picture of the fake Alit, and asked if it was the real Alit. Kat looked closely at the picture for a moment and then shook her head, confirming that the person in the picture was not the real Alit, just someone who looked a lot like her. Hearing that answer, Mona immediately understood everything. The real Alit had gone missing, and that was exactly why the king rushed to Thailand, making her worries and doubts even clearer. In another area, the pursuers kept tracking Alit's whereabouts. Realizing danger was approaching, Devin quickly took her away to avoid getting caught. Not long after, Devin's team also found the place where he was hiding. When both sides clashed, everyone immediately worked together, fought back, defeated, and pinned down all the bad guys. After the situation was under control, the team members turned to ask Devin who those captured guys were, and if they were targeting him. Devin answered straight out that they didn't want his life at all. Their real target was the girl with him. Right at that moment, Alit stepped out of her hiding spot. Seeing her, all the team members froze, then bowed in unison following protocol, because they recognized her true identity as Princess Alit. That sight completely shocked Devin. The girl he thought was just a normal person turned out to be Princess Alit, the one he had a duty to protect. That unexpected truth left him stunned and in disbelief. Very soon after, Alit was safely escorted back to the palace in Thailand. Her grandfather also quickly came to visit. He already knew everything Alit had been through, and admitted that he was the one who arranged for a fake Alit to show up in Rizit to throw everyone off while she was in danger. As for Andre, he found out that Alit was missing through Mona. Immediately, Andre started thinking about using this situation to pressure the king, hoping to win back the crown in case Alit truly disappeared. However, Alan acted like he didn't care, saying he didn't give a damn about the crown and just wanted to keep enjoying his comfortable life in Thailand. Kot couldn't hide her disgust, scolding Alan for drinking too much and sarcastically saying he would lose his life to alcohol one day. And when that time came, she would laugh in his face. Andre quickly spoke up and demanded Kot apologize to her brother. Even though she hated it, Kot reluctantly had to do it. The story suddenly shifted to a memory from the past. When she was little, Kot was once kicked out of her own room by her father so he could give that room to Alan. Since childhood, she had to endure clear discrimination between the two siblings, and that injustice silently engraved itself in her heart for many years. Back in the present, Andre spoke up with a serious tone, saying the whole family had to head back to Rizit immediately to see with their own eyes if the princess there was real or just a fake. Alit ordered bodyguard Tetra to text Devon, saying she wanted to meet him to give him a medal of bravery in person. Not long after, the captain came to pass that invitation to Devon. Upon hearing it, Devon tried to make an excuse, telling the captain to tell the princess that he had a high fever and couldn't attend, so he respectfully declined the medal. This news quickly reached Alit. She immediately knew Devon was just lying because he was afraid to face her after knowing her true identity as the princess. Without saying anything else, Alit went to find Devon herself. When she caught him riding a horse, she asked straight out why he said he couldn't walk, yet now he was just chilling like that. Devon felt awkward and could only bow his head to apologize. Alit didn't scold him. Instead, she suggested they race horses, using the win or loss as a condition. She said if she won, Devon had to accept the medal. Devon wondered to himself why she would come up with such seemingly pointless things, but he eventually agreed to join. The race quickly began. Alit was the first to cross the finish line, but right after that, her horse suddenly lost control and kept dashing without stopping. Devon immediately chased after her, and saved her from danger just in time. Once safe, Alit still smiled and said that no matter what, she was the winner. Having said that, she purposely pinned the Medal of Bravery onto Devon. The sharp pin made him wince a bit from the pain. Alit softly apologized but flat out admitted that she did it on purpose, then turned her back and walked away. Devon stood there both mad and helpless, because in front of him was a princess, someone he couldn't yell at or blame. Meanwhile, in Rizit, Mona sent Kot to find out if the Alit staying in the palace was real or fake. Kot figured she could test her by inviting her to an archery match because if it was the real Alit, she would definitely shoot very well, since she was the only one who had ever beaten Kot. Kot went to see the fake Alit, but bodyguard Kisi stepped in to stop her, saying the princess injured her hand and couldn't join. Kot didn't buy that so easily and firmly demanded to go inside and check. Kisi then went into the room first and intentionally hurt the fake Alit's hand to create a wound, just to avoid suspicion. After that, Kot and Mona walked into the room. Seeing the wound on Alit's hand, they were forced to believe that what Kisi said was true. Mona looked extremely angry, and then left in a very unhappy mood. Not long after, Tetra reported to the real Alit that Mona had started suspecting the fake Alit. Hearing that, Alit fell into deep thought and ordered a message sent to Kisi, saying that she would return to Rizit tomorrow, and asked Kisi to try and control the situation until she showed up. Meanwhile, Devon got a call from his teammate, informing him that tomorrow afternoon Princess Alit would leave Thailand to go back to Rizit, and his mission was to escort her safely to the airport. Hanging up the phone, Devon couldn't hide his relief, secretly glad to think this burden was finally about to leave and he could go back to his normal life. Meanwhile, in Rizit, an unexpected disaster happened. The fake princess, Dicha, was poisoned to death right in the palace through her food. Kisi was the first to discover it. In a panic, she immediately hid Dicha's body inside the closet to prevent others from finding out too soon. Not long after, Kot brought food to Alit, but Kisi hurriedly said the princess had run away. Kot was half doubting, half believing, but still left. As soon as Kot was out of sight, Kisi immediately called to let the real Alit know the whole story. Hearing that someone had died in her place, Alit couldn't help but feel shocked and heartbroken. Dicha's death became a haunting burden in her heart. Because of this incident, the king decided not to let Alit go back to Rizit anymore. He knew that someone right inside the palace wanted her dead, and bringing her back right now was too dangerous. He wanted to hide Alit for a while to find out who was behind the plot. Alit firmly objected, saying she didn't want to run away out of fear. Hearing that, the king got angry and strictly laid out her final choices. He said she only had two paths: either stay hidden in Thailand, or return to Rizit but be stripped of her crown princess title. He stressed that they wanted her dead precisely because of the crown, and he didn't want to see his granddaughter die with his own eyes. Faced with that toughness, Alit had to accept the first option, deciding to stay hidden in Thailand. That afternoon, Devon and his team came to pick Alit up for the airport according to the original plan. However, a teammate ran over to report that Princess Alit wasn't going back to Rizit anymore, and that the king was calling everyone to a meeting. At the meeting, the king announced that the fake princess had been poisoned to death in Rizit, so bringing Alit back now was extremely dangerous. He confirmed that they needed to hide her in Thailand until they found the killer. While everyone was still thinking, Devon suddenly proposed a bold plan. Devon thought they should have Princess Alit marry a naval officer, then hide her in a naval base. There, she would live like a normal person, and no one would suspect her real identity. The king felt this was a reasonable idea and immediately agreed, telling Alit to accept the marriage. However, Alit flatly refused. She made it clear that she didn't want to take part in a fake marriage. Seeing this, the king turned to Devon and ordered him to convince her, because he believed that if Devon spoke up, Alit would listen. Devon went to see Alit. As soon as she saw him, she knew exactly why the king had sent him. Alit declared she would not take part in that nonsense plan. Devon calmly explained that if the fake princess hadn't taken her place in Rizit that day, she probably wouldn't be alive right now, and all the king's decisions came from caring about her safety. Alit argued back, asking why she had to become a naval officer's wife, when she could totally pretend to be his daughter to get into the naval base. Devon pointed out that it would look very suspicious if a naval officer suddenly had such a grown-up daughter. Devon said straight out that if she truly cared about herself and loved her country, she should accept this marriage. Finally, those words made Alit waver and she was convinced. Their conversation was watched by the king through a camera. He looked extremely satisfied and impressed with how Devon handled things. Not long after, Commander Cat called Devon in and made it clear that the naval officer chosen by the king to marry Alit was none other than Devon himself. Hearing that, Devon was stunned for a moment, then immediately objected, saying he wouldn't marry her. Commander Cat coldly replied that it was an order, and he absolutely had to obey. Devon frankly apologized to his superior, but still firmly refused. Devon said that no matter how he was punished, he would not marry Princess Alit at any cost. Meanwhile, Alit went to her grandfather and straight up asked if she had the right to choose her future husband herself. He looked at her and slowly replied that he had already picked someone for her, and claimed that person was the most suitable one who could protect her and keep her safe. Alit kept asking for the guy's name, and her grandfather told her the identity of the man he had chosen. Somewhere else, Devon was sitting alone, his face full of frustration and confusion. His teammates came one by one to talk him into it, saying he should agree to marry Princess Alit since it was just a fake marriage for a mission anyway. Devon immediately fired back, saying marriage wasn't a mission you could complete by orders, but a matter of the heart. Devon bluntly said he had been with Alit for 2 days and 1 night, knew exactly what kind of person she was, and living with her definitely wouldn't be easy. Right at that moment, Alit showed up. She looked straight at Devon and asked if he was refusing to marry her because he was afraid of her. Sensing the vibe getting tense, his teammates left one by one, leaving the two of them facing each other. Alit spoke up, her voice cold and mixed with anger. She pointed out that just a moment ago Devon was advising her to get married for the greater good. Yet when he found out he was the one chosen, he backed down. She reminded him that next time, he shouldn't tell others to do things he himself didn't dare to face. Devon calmly replied that his situation was different from hers. Devon admitted he could marry her, but didn't want to, because he didn't love her. Hearing that answer, Alit shot back, saying he was mixing personal stuff with the mission. She stressed that he was marrying her for a mission, not for love, and told him to stop saying such childish things. Devon still firmly stood his ground. Devon said he was ready to take on any tough or dangerous mission, but when it came to this he wouldn't force his heart. Those decisive words made Alit incredibly angry. Her grandfather, standing behind them, had heard the entire argument. Unable to hold it in anymore, Alit turned to Commander Cat and demanded he report back to the king that she would return to Rizit and was ready to give up her crown princess position. When he learned of that decision, Devon felt heavy and guilty. Devon realized that his refusal was exactly what pushed Alit to this point. All that night, Devon couldn't sleep, constantly asking himself if he had made the wrong decision by firmly refusing the marriage with the princess. The next morning, the king called Devon in for a private talk. He told him a truth Devon never knew before. Devon's father used to be his royal guard and had sacrificed his life while trying to protect him from danger. Because of that reason, the king had a grave built for his father in Rizit, and at the same time, he once invited his mother to stay there. However, Devon's mother took him back to Thailand, and since then, the king never saw her again. Devon was completely shocked by the story about his father. Devon sincerely thanked the king for telling him the truth, but still bluntly said that it didn't mean he would agree to marry Princess Alit. The king smiled and said he wouldn't force him. In the end, he gave Devon the mission to escort Princess Alit safely to the airport. While Devon was escorting Alit out of the palace, a gunshot suddenly rang out, tearing through the peaceful air. The bullet was aimed straight at Alit. Devon panicked and rushed over, immediately shielding her, and then quickly put her in an ambulance, heading straight to the hospital. On the way, Alit's condition seemed to get more and more critical. Seeing her lying motionless with a pale face, Devon sank into panic and guilt. Devon felt a surge of regret and couldn't hold back from crying out that it was all his fault. Devon said that if he could turn back time, he would definitely agree to marry her. Hearing that, Alit suddenly opened her mouth and calmly replied that they should get ready to get married then. Right after that, she ordered the ambulance to stop. Devon was stunned to see Alit sit up, totally healthy, with no signs of injury at all. Devon had no idea what was going on. Alit then explained that everything that just happened was totally fake. Her goal was to make Devon truly feel regret if something happened to her, and at the same time prove that marriage doesn't necessarily have to start with love. She made it clear that this plan was set up by her, with the help of Devon's team and even the king. Devon was shocked realizing he had been tricked. Alit coldly reminded him that he was a soldier, and whatever he said couldn't be taken back. After saying that, she turned her back and walked away, leaving Devon furious and frustrated. Not long after, Alit was practicing with her sword when Devon suddenly walked straight up and stood right in front of her sword tip. That reckless move made Alit panic, and she yelled, asking if he was crazy, and what they would do if he got hurt. Devon replied that what she had just done was way worse than that. Devon said his mission was to save lives, but today she turned that life into a joke. Alit fired back, insisting she never saw it as a joke. Devon immediately claimed she only did it because she wanted to beat him, which was why she put on this whole act. Alit tried to explain, but Devon had completely lost his cool and yelled loudly in her face. Right at that moment, Commander Cat showed up and strictly scolded Devon for talking to the princess with such disrespect. Devon bowed his head and admitted his mistake. Alit spoke up, saying that no matter what, he still had to marry her now. Devon replied in a cold tone that the princess didn't need to worry. He would marry her even if he was forced to, because he would complete his mission. After saying that, he turned around and walked away. After that, Devon ordered his team to thoroughly investigate Princess Alit's family tree and her rights to the throne. Officer Penn reported that according to the succession laws, the one who should have become the crown prince was Andre, since he was the king's oldest son. Next in line were Kat, Andre's oldest daughter, and then Alan. Alit was actually at the very bottom of the inheritance list. However, the people of Rizit only loved and supported Alit, which was exactly why she was chosen to be the crown princess. Knowing this, Devon started getting suspicious. Devon figured that all four people, Andre, Mona, Kat, and Alan, could be involved in the plot to take Alit's life, because one of them most likely wanted to finish her off to take the crown. Because of that, Devon immediately sent 4 of his best officers to secretly follow each of them, aiming to find out who was behind everything. Back in Rizit, after finding out that Alit had been secretly moved somewhere else, Andre and Mona immediately went to see the king, unable to hide their anger. The two of them loudly questioned him, claiming that moving Alit out of the palace was a very careless decision. The king calmly explained that someone in the palace wanted to take Alit's life, so he had to temporarily move her away to keep her safe. Until the mastermind was caught, Alit would not return to the palace. Even though Andre and Mona tried their best to convince him, throwing out all sorts of reasons to make the king change his mind, he firmly refused to back down. Meanwhile, in Thailand, Officer Penn reported to Devon that Alan didn't head back to Rizit as planned but stayed in Thailand instead. Devon immediately grew suspicious, thinking Alan stayed behind on purpose to find a chance to strike Alit. Devon ordered Ka to keep a really close eye on Alan, and not let her guard down for even a second. Alan quickly realized he was being watched. Right at that moment, his grandfather called Alan to let him know that from now on, Ka would stick with him under the excuse of protecting him. In reality, this was the king's way to make tailing Alan look totally legal and keep it low-key. Even though he didn't want someone breathing down his neck, Alan couldn't disobey the king's orders. In another turn of events, Devon told Alit straight up that to ensure absolute safety, they had to have a real marriage on paper, so he could bring her into the naval base as his legal wife. Alit objected right away, arguing that they just needed to announce they were married and people would believe it. There was no need to make a big deal out of it. However, Devon explained that they needed solid proof like photos and videos, and only a real wedding could provide all of that. Hearing that, Alit got super angry because this was totally outside of her original plan. Devon could only apologize while confirming that even though she didn't want to, this was something she absolutely had to do. After that, Commander Cat came to see Devon and made it clear that he understood if Devon's mother found out he was helping the king and following the same path his father once chose, she would definitely be furious. Devon's father had lost his life protecting the king, and that was a heartbreak that had never fully healed in his family. However, Cat reassured him that Devon's mother was currently out of the country. By the time she returned, Devon's mission would already be over. Alit would be safely taken back to Rizit, and his life would soon get back to normal. Devon replied in a low voice that he also didn't want his mother to know about the fake marriage with Alit, because if that secret got out, it would definitely drag in a ton of unpredictable trouble. The next day, Alit and Devon's wedding went down exactly as planned. While they were setting up for the wedding over in Thailand, back in Rizit, Andre and Mona brought a group of government officials to the palace, openly putting pressure on the king to grab the crown. In front of everyone, they loudly accused the king of letting Alit go missing, claiming he was no longer fit to hold power since he let the crown princess vanish without a trace. Facing those harsh attacks, the king calmly explained that Alit wasn't missing at all. She was just taken to a safe place because someone in the palace wanted her dead. He confirmed that this was just a necessary safety measure, not an attempt to hide the truth. Back in Thailand, right before the ceremony kicked off, Devon told Alit straight up that after getting married, she would have to live at his house. Devon stressed that life there would be completely different from the luxury and comfort of the palace, and she wouldn't be spoiled like a princess anymore. Alit was stunned by Devon's words, but given the current situation, she knew she had no other choice but to accept it. Just as the ceremony was about to happen, Alit unexpectedly got a call from Bodyguard Tetra, reporting that Andre had brought government officials to the palace to stir up trouble. After hearing that, Alit panicked right away and turned to tell Devon that she had to go back to Rizit immediately. Devon firmly refused, warning her that if she went back now, she would be walking right into danger. Alit wouldn't listen to him, insisting she couldn't just sit there while her grandfather was dealing with serious trouble. Devon tried to convince her that this marriage was exactly the solution to fix everything, but Alit wasn't having it. She ran off toward the airport, and Devon immediately chased after her. In Rizit, Andre stood right in front of the king and coldly declared that if Alit wanted to keep the crown, she had to show up right away. Otherwise, he would rightfully take it for himself. Unable to hold back his anger, the king slapped Andre right in the face to stop his insults. Andre just smirked, saying the king had handed all of Rizit over to a careless girl, and when the fallout happened, he shouldn't blame him for not giving a heads up. After saying that, Andre turned his back and walked away, leaving behind a super tense vibe in the palace. At the airport, Commander Kat stopped Alit and passed on the king's direct order. She absolutely could not return to Rizit until the mission was complete, which meant until the mastermind trying to kill her was caught. Right at that moment, Devon showed up too. He looked straight at Alit and said firmly that this was the very last time he was going to say it. This marriage only existed to save her life. If she didn't want to marry him, he wasn't dying to do it either, because from the very beginning he never even wanted to get married. But he stressed that Alit was the one who pulled off a huge fake death stunt just to force him to say yes, which proved that this marriage was way more important to her than it was to him. Hearing those words, Alit froze. Finally, she turned around and went back to the church with Devon. Despite the drama and storms waiting ahead, the two of them still finished the ceremony and officially became husband and wife. Things slowly started to make sense, just like the mysterious girl's cryptic words from before about a plan that was already set up in advance. It seemed like destiny itself had pushed Devon and Alit to meet each other in this exact situation. During the ceremony, the two of them exchanged rings right on cue with the tradition. As Devon leaned in, getting ready to kiss Alit, the wives of the other officers suddenly all showed up at the same time. They had found out Devon was secretly throwing a wedding, so they all crashed it to see the bride's face. Devon introduced Alit to Mrs. Dan, Commander Kat's wife, using the fake name Nari. Mrs. Dan looked Alit up and down, then asked how many years she had been dating Devon. Alit calmly replied that they had been together for 2 years. Hearing that, Mrs. Dan looked really confused, pointing out that with Devon's status, there was no reason for the two of them to get married so secretly like that. Alit shot back firmly that she married for love, not for Devon's status or rank. Mrs. Dan just wouldn't stop interrogating her, making the whole vibe super tense. Noticing things were going south, Commander Kat quickly made an excuse to get Devon and Alit out of there. Before leaving, Alit only gave Mrs. Dan a half-hearted, almost rude goodbye, and then turned her back and walked right out. Once outside, Devon couldn't hide his annoyance. Devon reminded Alit that she shouldn't act like that towards Mrs. Dan, because she wasn't a princess anymore. Devon stressed that they were a married couple now, so they had to show some affection in front of other people. Alit argued back that Commander Kat was the one who told them to leave, so she was just following orders and didn't see what she did wrong. Devon firmly stated that he was her husband, so she should have walked with him and held his hand. Alit coldly replied that not every couple in the world had to show off sweet PDA out in public, and then she walked off first, leaving Devon standing there angry and confused as to why she just wouldn't cooperate. Back inside, Mrs. Dan was clearly unhappy, claiming that Alit didn't deserve Devon at all because she was way too rude. She was even dead sure that Devon hadn't dared to tell his mom about this marriage yet, because he knew very well his mom would never accept a girl like that. Commander Kat told his wife she shouldn't stick her nose in other people's private business, but Mrs. Dan still thought she needed to help Devon wake up, since he seemed totally blinded by love. After that, Devon took Alit home. Devon had set up a private home gym just for her because he knew she loved working out, but Alit still kept up her distant attitude. Devon couldn't help getting annoyed, feeling like she was way too arrogant. Devon walked her up to the bedroom. Alit looked around and asked if that was his room, then where was hers? Devon said straight up that she would be sleeping here. When Alit asked in surprise if they had to sleep in the same bed, Devon explained that he would sleep in a different room. Just to be safe, Devon also moved Officer Penn to the house right next door, and had a security camera system set up around the area. After getting everything set up, he told Alit that the most important thing right now was to make everyone believe they were a real married couple. Alit just gave a faint smile and said that wouldn't be hard at all, because if she could even trick Devon, everyone else would be a piece of cake. In the house next door, Officer Penn was looking at Devon and Alit's wedding photos on the phone when Alan suddenly snatched it away. Alan yelled at Ka, accusing her of not focusing on her job. Ka quickly snatched the phone back before Alan could get a clear look at the pictures. Later on, Devon brought Alit home after they went grocery shopping. Noticing that the other officers' wives were standing around watching them, Devin immediately picked Alit up in his arms, purposely showing off some PDA, and quickly walked inside the house. Alit was still super annoyed on the inside. Devin looked at her and lowered his voice, reminding her that she was the one who said she was a great actress, so now she better play the perfect role of a sweet couple in front of everyone. Alit thought about it for a second and then agreed, but she didn't forget to warn him that he absolutely couldn't drop her. Otherwise, the consequences would be severe. From a distance, Mrs. Pooh, Lieutenant Lin's wife, saw the whole thing but totally didn't buy that they were a real married couple. She turned to her husband and asked if those two were actually in love. Lin replied that if they weren't in love, no one would bother getting married. Mrs. Pooh immediately started trash-talking, saying it made no sense for a handsome guy like Devin to marry such an ugly girl. Hearing his wife insult Alit, Lin got incredibly angry. Devin knew Alit's true identity was a princess but couldn't say it out loud, so he ended up loudly yelling at his wife. Mrs. Pooh was totally stunned and asked what she had said wrong, since she was only saying what she saw with her own eyes. Lin finally had to lower his voice, took the blame himself, apologized to his wife, and then used the excuse of having an urgent matter to walk away. During all of that, Mona called her son Alan to let him know that the king had secretly hidden Alit away, and they had to quickly track down where she was. On the other hand, Officer Hin came over to give Alit a status update and then got ready to leave. Right before leaving, he accidentally mentioned to Devin that earlier this morning, he had seen Devin carrying Princess Alit home in his arms. Hearing that, Devin immediately hit Hin hard on the head to stop him from talking any further, and then chased him away right then. Back in Rizit, Kot heard from a government official that Mona had spread a rumor that Alit was dead, to rally the officials to seize the crown. She immediately went to find Mona and loudly confronted her, arguing that spreading fake news when everyone knew Alit was alive could seriously ruin her father's public image. Mona coldly brushed her off, telling Kot she was just a kid and shouldn't meddle in adults' business. Faced with that attitude, Kot had to stay silent. Not long after, the king called Alit, letting her know that the trouble with the officials was temporarily handled. He told her to trust Devin, because he would take care of everything for her and keep her safe during this time. In another turn of events, Devin told Alit to make up a fake story about her family, just in case people started asking questions. Hearing that, Alit suggested turning it into a bet. They would both work out, whoever lasted longer would win, and the loser would have to come up with that fake story. Devin agreed, and they started competing against each other. Meanwhile, Mrs. Pooh heard noises coming from Devin's house and completely misunderstood, thinking something shady and romantic was going on inside. In the end, Devin quickly lost. Alit calmly said he probably didn't know this, but since she was little, she was trained as strictly as a soldier, so her stamina was way better than his. The next morning, Mrs. Pooh sent the voice recording of last night's noises to Mrs. Dan. Hearing it, Mrs. Dan was totally shocked. Not stopping there, Mrs. Pooh even gathered with two other people in front of Devin's house, trying to peek at Alit. Alit opened the window and looked out, catching their nosy stares, but then she just coldly shut the window right back. That move made Mrs. Pooh furious and she complained bitterly, claiming Alit was super rude because they stood there to greet her, but she didn't react at all. Seeing the tension rising, Officer Penn stepped in to smooth things over, saying Alit actually did smile. It was probably just too hot, so she closed the window. Mrs. Pooh took that chance to ask Ka about Alit's family background. Before Ka could even answer, Devin showed up. Devin immediately told everyone that Major Devin had arrived, and if they had any questions, they should ask him. Seeing Devin, the group quickly scattered. Devin turned to ask Ka what happened, and Ka told him the whole story of what just went down. Devin angrily turned to scold Alit, saying she shouldn't have slammed the window like that because that kind of action would easily make the people around them suspicious. Alit calmly replied that she just didn't want to draw attention, and didn't see what she did wrong. Devin firmly stated that it was exactly a mistake, because if she kept keeping her distance and acting cold toward everyone, they would get even more suspicious of her identity. Hearing that, Alit asked back if he seriously expected her to go out there and sit with them. Right while the two were arguing, Mrs. Dan unexpectedly showed up at the house and loudly warned them not to make so much noise at night because it would ruin the neighbors' sleep. Devin and Alit both silently understood that Mrs. Dan was hinting at their workout last night. Alit politely apologized, promising she wouldn't make noise next time. However, that sentence only made Mrs. Dan even more annoyed. She turned to scold Devin, saying his wife had no manners and talked to elders without any respect, and told him he should teach Alit how to do chores properly like a wife should. Alit cluelessly asked Devin if she had just said something wrong again. Devin realized the misunderstanding and hurried to explain, but Mrs. Dan snapped that her blood pressure was going up and stormed off. Standing nearby, Mrs. Pooh dropped a harsh comment, saying Alit looked innocent but was actually super sneaky and had totally tricked Devin. Mrs. Dan also coldly swore she would expose her true colors to everyone soon. After everyone left, Alit turned to tell Devin that starting today she would do chores to avoid trouble. Devin shook his head, saying that wasn't necessary. The most important thing was for her to drop the princess attitude and actually talk to people so they would trust her more. Having said that, He handed Alit a script about her fake family background and told her to memorize it. After reading it, Alit wrote a note for Devon saying that from now on, she would do whatever he said. Reading it, Devon couldn't help feeling happy inside. The next morning, Devon hung their wedding picture frame on the wall. Alit curiously asked if hanging a picture like that would actually make people believe they were in love. Devon replied that normal people did that all the time to show off their happiness. Before leaving for work, he didn't forget to warn Alit not to cause any more trouble, and just stick to what he told her. At the same time, Alan was trying to interrogate Officer Penn to find out where Alit was hiding. However, Ka stayed quiet and didn't leak a single piece of information. Meanwhile, just after Devon left for work, Mrs. Dan and Mrs. Pooh came to Alit's house and asked her to go shopping. At the market, Mrs. Pooh kept throwing personal questions at Alit. Alit couldn't answer, so she purposely complimented Mrs. Dan's diamond ring. Hearing the compliment made her very happy. Suddenly, a thief snatched Mrs. Dan's fur scarf and ran off. Alit chased after him and caught him. Mrs. Dan called her husband, Kat, telling him his wife was in trouble and telling him to get there right away. Alit handed the thief over to the police. Reporters swarmed around Alit to interview her. Devon showed up just in time, covered Alit's face and got her out of the crowd. Officer Penn was sitting watching the news on TV when Alan suddenly showed up. Ka instantly got worried, afraid that Alan would spot Alit on the screen. Luckily, the news clip was only shot from a distance. The image was blurry, and you couldn't clearly see the face, so Alan totally didn't notice anything unusual. Alit watched the clip too and calmly told Devon that since her face wasn't visible, there was nothing to worry about. Devon, on the other hand, took it way more seriously. Devon warned that it wouldn't take long for people to realize she was Princess Alit. Devon blamed her for going out on her own without telling him first, because if he hadn't shown up in time today, her face would be all over the news channels, and her identity would definitely be blown. Alit argued back, reminding him that he was the one who told her to mingle with people. Devon replied that he only told her to fit in, not to fade in and recklessly put herself in danger. Devon said straight up that because of her, things could have gotten a whole lot worse, and then couldn't hide his worry as he asked what he was supposed to do if something happened to her. Alit answered that if helping someone blew her cover, she was ready to take the blame, and didn't want Devon to beat himself up over it. Right then, Devon noticed the cut on her hand. Devon immediately pulled the car over and carefully bandaged it for her. Seeing that action, Alit softened her voice and said next time she would let him know before leaving the house. Devon thanked her for understanding him, and also apologized for talking too harshly. Somewhere else, Kat faced her father, Andre, and asked straight out if the rumor that he wanted to finish off Alit to take the throne was true. He got furious and yelled at Kat to shut up, claiming she knew nothing. Kat fired back, asking if she didn't even have the right to speak up in this palace. Andre coldly replied that she had no right at all and called her an idiot. Kat bitterly argued back that she wasn't an idiot, and then burst into tears. The next day, as soon as Devon came home from work, he saw Mrs. Dan already waiting in his house. She said she came to invite Alit to a charity event for poor kids. Alit immediately said she wouldn't go if Devon didn't agree. Devon reassured her that he had no problem with it, and made it clear he would go with her too. A moment later, Alit curiously asked why he wanted to tag along. Devon seriously replied that after yesterday's mess, from now on he would always stick by her side and not let her out of his sight. Hearing that, Alit gave a small smile. At the charity event, the electrical system in Mrs. Dan's house suddenly short-circuited, starting a fire. A kid was trapped inside. Devon didn't hesitate and rushed in to save him, quickly getting the first kid out safe. Right at that moment, Alit realized there was still another kid who hadn't been saved and instantly ran back into the fire. When Devon brought the kid out and didn't see Alit anywhere, he panicked and ran back inside to find her. Extreme fear washed over him, because the king had trusted him to protect Alit, and if something happened to her, he wouldn't know how to explain it. Finally, Devon found Alit lying unconscious next to the second kid. Devon tried his best to get both of them out, his heart still racing from the fear he just went through. Somewhere else, Mona actively tipped off Kat that Prince Will had arrived in the country under the excuse of a business deal. Hearing that name, Kat's face instantly changed. She was clearly shaken. Mona coldly dropped a loaded hint, saying if Kat wasn't an idiot, she should know exactly what to do next. After that, Kat went to see Prince Will and told him straight out that the king had secretly hidden Alit away. She even offered to help Will track down Alit's whereabouts. Will asked where Alit was last seen, and Kat answered Thailand. Hearing that, Will reassured her not to worry. He would find Alit soon. In Kat's memories, the image of Prince Will came back super clear. Back then, Will had spotted her in the palace and suddenly snapped a picture of her. Kat misunderstood, thinking he was a creepy reporter taking sneaky shots, and demanded he delete it right away. Right then, Ro showed up and introduced Will as a prince, not a reporter. Will complimented Kat on her beauty, and that compliment made her heart flutter and stuck with her for a really long time. Later on, Will hosted a portrait auction. When she saw her own portrait on display, Kat was incredibly happy, thinking Will also had feelings for her. But that joy quickly vanished when Princess Alit showed up. and will only had eyes for Alit, making Kot unable to hide her jealousy. Another time during the king's 17th birthday party, all eyes and attention were on Alit, while Kot was completely forgotten. That feeling of being totally overlooked made her quietly leave in bitterness. Back in the present, after meeting Kot, Prince Will got a call from his dad, asking about the progress of the mission. Will reported that Alit was no longer in the palace. His dad immediately pushed him to find Alit fast, because things back home were getting super intense. Actually, Will's trip this time wasn't just about Alit, but also about securing financial backup for his country, which was crashing into a severe economic crisis. In another turn of events, a major came to tell Alan that Officer Penn would no longer be protecting him. Alan got angry and also realized that Ka was purposely avoiding him, most likely because she knew something about Alit. Over in Thailand, Alit woke up after the fire, and the very first thing she asked was how the kid was doing and if they were safe. Devon heard that and immediately scolded her, saying that before worrying about others, she should worry about herself first. Alit misunderstood, thinking Devon was afraid of getting blasted by the king and Commander Cat for the incident, so she reassured him that she would explain it herself and no one would punish him. Devon instantly denied it. He said she got it completely twisted. He wasn't worried about himself at all. He was worried about her and the people waiting for her safe return. Devon stressed that if she didn't understand him, she should at least think about her duty to the country. Alit replied that she had never forgotten that duty, but if she couldn't even save a kid in danger, what right did she have to rule a country? Devon couldn't hold back his anger, turned his back and walked out. Left alone, Alit slowly realized that Devon wasn't wrong. She understood she needed to stay alive and make it back safe. Not just for herself but for the people counting on her. It was late at night, and Devon still hadn't come back. Alit got worried and was just about to open the door to look outside when Devon came back. Devon asked what she was doing standing there. Alit quickly lied, saying she was just double-checking if the door was locked tight, and then quickly rushed back into the room, leaving Devon standing there watching her. After that, Prince Will secretly met up with Alan in Thailand. Alan straight up said he believed Alit was in Thailand, and suspected that his former bodyguard was the one who knew exactly where she was. This thought made Alan even more annoyed, because he felt like everything was being hidden behind his back. At the same time, Mona rushed over to tell Andre that the king was thinking about handing Alit's position over to someone else while she was gone. Hearing that, Andre and Mona were super hyped, fully believing the king would finally pick Andre to take over. Not long after, the royal guards came to deliver the king's order for a meeting. The two of them walked into the meeting room totally convinced that what they had been hoping for was about to come true. The meeting started, but things went completely opposite to what Andre and Mona had guessed. The king called Kot in, and in front of everyone, he announced he was handing her the position of temporary crown princess. Andre and Mona froze, all their hopes crushed. Andre couldn't hold back and openly slammed the king's decision. The king coldly asked back what kind of father Andre was to not want to see his own daughter succeed. Andre angrily fired back that the king was the one who was an unfit father, then turned around and stormed out of the meeting room. After the meeting, Kot went to see the king, expressing that she didn't want to take on this responsibility because she was afraid of hurting her dad. The king said in a low voice that Andre had a huge misunderstanding, always thinking the crown was something that belonged strictly to him. Even so, he confirmed that Kot totally deserved this position. The king stressed this was only a temporary setup, and after a moment of hesitation, Kot accepted to take on the responsibility. Right after that, the king video called Alit to let her know that Kot had been given the position of temporary crown princess. He also apologized to Devon on her behalf because Alit had caused him quite a bit of trouble. Devon calmly replied that whatever Alit did was right. Hearing that, Alit couldn't hide her happiness knowing Devon was on her side. Somewhere else, Mona called her son Alan in a fit of rage. She yelled that things had gone way too far. The king had given the power to Kot, and cursed Alan for being a useless idiot who couldn't do anything to please the king and snatch the power. Those harsh words made Alan incredibly furious, because his mom treated him like a total loser. Carrying that frustration, Alan went to Prince Will to vent his feelings. After hearing him out, Will dropped a strategic idea. Alan should step up and supply gold from Rizit to Thailand. This wouldn't just open a new gold market for Rizit, but also be a huge chance to score points with the king. Alan immediately realized this was a totally doable idea, because Rizit had never traded gold with Thailand before. If this plan worked, he was dead sure the king would be extremely pleased and the way he looked at him would change too. After that, Alan drove his car and tailed Officer Penn, determined to track down Alit's whereabouts. At the same time, Devon took Alit to Officer Hen's house to give her a haircut to change her look. After finishing the cut, Devon casually went to throw the bag of hair away, but Kisi stopped him. Kisi said she would keep those strands of hair, which totally surprised Devon. Kisi explained that even though Devon was Alit's husband, her status wasn't normal at all. She was the princess of Rizit, and to the people of Rizit, the princess was practically a god. Just getting their hands on a few strands of her hair, they'd be willing to do absolutely anything. Hearing that, Devon suddenly realized the massive gap between his world and Alit's world. Kesey even gave Devin some of her hair, telling him to keep it really safe. Meanwhile, Alan tailed Officer Penn all the way to Officer Hin's house. Through the security cameras, Hin and Ka spotted Alan showing up and immediately alerted Devin. Devin hurried into the room. Right at that moment, Alit just walked out of the bathroom, wrapped only in a towel. Devin awkwardly handed her a dress. When Alit put it on, the dress was way too short, making Devin unconsciously stare at her for a moment before snapping out of it. Hin quickly hid Kesey in the closet because if Alan saw Kesey, he would instantly guess that Alit was also there. Alan walked into the house, but Officer Penn blocked him, stopping him from going upstairs. In the meantime, Devin used a ladder to sneak Alit out of the house. While running away, Alit slipped and fell, but Devin caught her right in time, and the two of them quickly ran off into the night. Officer Penn couldn't hold Alan off for long. He charged upstairs but didn't see anyone. Alan looked at Ka, coldly stating he knew she had hidden Alit. Ka casually replied he could think whatever he wanted but she knew nothing. Alan then suggested Ka come back and be his bodyguard again. Ka refused, saying she would only come back if there was an order from her superiors. Alan smirked, saying he would personally talk to Commander Cat and make absolutely sure Ka couldn't keep dodging him. Before leaving, Alan noticed some of the princess's belongings in the room, but he stayed quiet, pretended like he didn't see anything and walked away. Outside, Devin was taking Alit to run away. She was walking barefoot, her feet stinging with pain. Without hesitation, Devin took off his shoes and gave them to her, while he kept running on the freezing ground. Seeing that action, Alit couldn't help but feel moved. Back home, Alit looked down at Devin's feet and gave a small smile. She understood that this man would do absolutely anything to fulfill his duty. At Officer Hin's house, Hin opened the closet and pulled Kesey out. Kesey was still fast asleep, totally clueless about what just went down. Hin woke her up, and Kesey dazedly asked where Alit and Alan were. Hin laughed, saying everyone had already gone home, and that Kesey looked really cute when she was sleeping. Meanwhile, Alan called Kot, confirming he had proof that Alit was in Thailand. Alan asked Kot to pass the message to their parents, since his mom wouldn't pick up the phone. At home, Alit told Devin that he was better than everything she had ever expected, and that he had saved her so many times. Devin just kept it short, saying it was his duty. Alit suddenly hand-fed Devin some food, which startled him. He couldn't figure out why she was suddenly being so gentle with him. The next morning, Alit woke up early and quietly did all the chores. Hin and Kesey watched the whole thing through the security cameras, unable to hide their surprise. When Devin came back, seeing the house completely neat and clean, he was stunned. Right after that, he got a text from Hin saying Princess Alit had done all his chores herself today, and Kesey said this was her first time doing something like this. Reading the text, Devin smiled slightly. Somewhere else, Alan told Prince Will that he had seen the princess's personal belongings at Officer Hin's house. Hearing that, Will immediately guessed that a soldier was secretly protecting Alit. Alan acted like he didn't care, claiming he didn't give a damn what Alit was doing or where she was hiding. All he cared about was tracking her down, and he believed he had done just that. That midnight, Alit texted Devin asking if he was asleep yet. Devin replied shortly, asking what was up. Alit asked if he could take her to the market tomorrow, and promised not to cause any more trouble this time. Devin just replied with a single word, yes, but that alone was enough to make Alit overjoyed. In another place, Andre looked worried as he told Prince Will that he wasn't really feeling good about the gold business. Devin had imported gold into Thailand without asking the king first. If this got out, the king would definitely be furious. Will calmed him down, saying he would introduce Andre to a businessman who was interested in the gold market. As long as they sold all the gold before reporting back to the king would definitely be pleased. The next day, Devin took Alit to the supermarket. Alit texted him, saying she wanted to learn how to cook Thai food. Devin replied that he would teach her. However, to cook just one dish, Alit ended up buying a ton of ingredients and kitchenware. When Devin held the receipt in his hand, he almost passed out, briefly thinking to himself that Alit had just burned through his entire month's salary. With no other choice, he had to bite the bullet and swipe his credit card to pay. Alit pushed the card ahead. On the way, she accidentally overheard two other girls gossiping that Prince Will was right there in the mall. When Devin turned around to look for Alit, all he saw was a cart full of groceries, and she was nowhere to be found. Devin called Alit, but even though she saw the call, she didn't pick up and quietly went to meet Prince Will. Alit called Will out to talk, but Devin showed up right in time, quickly handling the situation before things went any further. Alit angrily walked away first. Devin chased after her, asking what she was thinking doing something like that. Alit replied that it was Prince Will, someone she was very close to, and she believed he could help her get out of this mess. Devin strictly reminded her that the king had banned her from revealing her identity to anyone, at least until the traitors were caught. Alit still stubbornly trusted Will, insisting he was a good guy. Devin just coldly reminded her of her promise not to cause any more trouble. Hearing that, Alit got even more annoyed and turned her back to leave. Getting home, Alit angrily walked straight into her room. Devin called her out to cook, but Alit snapped back that it was his job and he should just do it himself. Not long after, Bodyguard Tetra called Alit, reporting that Alan had imported gold from Rizit into Thailand. The king already knew about it but still wasn't sure what the goal was. At the same time, Commander Kat ordered Officer Pen to go back to being Alan's bodyguard to keep him from getting suspicious. Ka was forced to go back to her old post. Alan immediately ordered Ka to set up a meeting room for a business meeting the next day. In the kitchen, Alit found Devon and asked why Alan imported gold from Rizit to Thailand. Devon replied that if he knew exactly why, he would have reported it to the king a long time ago. Alit kept blaming him, asking why he didn't try to investigate. Devon just calmly said he was making green curry for her, and told her to come eat. Hearing that made Alit even angrier. She turned around and went into her room, leaving Devon standing alone in the kitchen. Somewhere else, Kat told Andre and Mona that she was heading to Thailand under the excuse of a business trip. Hearing that, Mona immediately dropped a sarcastic remark, claiming Kat just wanted to prove she was grown up and didn't rely on her dad anymore. Kat rushed to deny it, saying she never meant that, but Andre was so blinded by Mona's spoiling and blind love that he totally missed the red flags in his wife's words. Before Kat left, Mona didn't forget to warn her. If she saw Alit in Thailand, she had to report back to her immediately. Kat just gave a dry reply saying if she knew anything she would tell her, and then quietly left. Not long after, the king video called Alit, letting her know that Kat was on her way to Thailand to handle some business. Meanwhile, Devon realized Alit still hadn't eaten anything. Devon was about to bring food to her room, but then stopped in his tracks, telling himself that if she didn't even know how to take care of herself, why should he bother? Right then, Alit walked out of her room and demanded to see Prince Will again. Devon shut her down immediately, without any hesitation. Being rejected, Alit angrily turned back to her room. Frustration boiled up and Devon couldn't hold it back. He just threw the food away. Devon banning Alit from seeing Prince Will wasn't for nothing. From the officers, he knew Will's country was crashing into a financial crisis. On top of that, Officer Penn reported to him that Alan and Will were about to have a business meeting. All of that made Devon even more suspicious that Prince Will's trip wasn't as innocent as it seemed. The next morning, Alit stepped outside and saw Devon bending over to shine his shoes. She stood still for a second and then went back inside the house. Devon knew perfectly well she was there, but he chose to stay quiet and didn't say anything else. In another turn of events, Prince Will officially introduced Alan to a client to talk about the gold business. Before that, Officer Penn had secretly bugged the meeting room with cameras. Through the security system, Devon and his team watched the entire conversation. Thanks to that, Devon and Alit confirmed that Alan really did import gold from Rizit to Thailand for business. Knowing this, Alit looked happy and even praised Prince Will for guiding Alan so well. On the flip side, Devon kept his guard up. Deep down, he hadn't let go of his doubts about Prince Will's true motives at all. The client ended up refusing to sign the deal with Alan, making the whole gold business plan crash right in front of his eyes. Alan panicked immediately, his mind filled with the extreme fear that when the king found out, he would have to pay with his life. Seeing Alan freaking out, Prince Will calmly reassured him, saying it wasn't a dead end yet, and they could still find someone else to buy all that gold. In Rizit, Tetra reported back to the king that Alit had texted, confirming Alan was the one who imported the gold to Thailand for business. Hearing that, the king said in a low voice that he was absolutely sure Mona forced her son to do this, because without her pushing him, Alan wouldn't have the guts to act on his own. At the same time, Andre exploded in anger at Mona when he found out the king had fired all the officials who used to take his side. He dumped all his anger on his wife, harshly saying that if Mona hadn't spread fake news about Alit's death to the officials that day, things wouldn't have gone this far. Mona frantically tried to make excuses, but Andre didn't want to hear another word. Andre coldly said he didn't need her advice anymore, and ordered her to get lost. Kicked out of the room, Mona quietly left in bitterness. Back to Tetra, the king warned him not to let Alan know that he already had the whole picture. If any trouble happened, the king said he would step up and take the blame. Tetra left shortly after. Left alone, the king bent down to pick up a coin dropped on the floor, but as soon as he held it in his hand, he suddenly felt dizzy, collapsed and passed out. In Thailand, Alit fell into a terrifying nightmare. When she woke up, she panicked and threw her arms around Devon as a reflex. Devon understood that Alit was under a lot of mental stress, so the next day he took the initiative to bring her outside for a walk to clear her mind. Looking at the scenery around them, Alit suddenly smiled and said this place reminded her of the first time they met. Devon laughed, reminding her that the very first time they met, she gave him a really hard slap. Alit asked in surprise if that was true, and Devon confirmed it was a massive hit that hurt like crazy. Hearing him talk so straight like that, Alit felt relieved, admitting she was actually happy hearing him be honest. Meanwhile, in Rizit, the king woke up and was shocked to discover that the coin he picked up right before passing out was poisoned. That truth completely shook him, and heavy doubt filled his heart. The king asked himself who in his own family actually wanted him dead. In the meantime, Prince Will introduced Alan to a new client named Dom. Dom acted incredibly confident, straight up promising he would sell all the gold for Alan. If he couldn't, he would refund it all. That solid promise made Alan trust him completely and see Dom as his final lifeline. Not long after, Officer Lin brought a file to Devon. Just skimming through it, Devon instantly realized Dom was a guy who specialized in illegal gold trading and had triggered a ton of scandals. Alit accidentally eavesdropped on this conversation and understood that if Alan made a deal with Dom, the fallout would be massive. Around the same time, Princess Kot arrived in Thailand and met with Prince Will. She asked straight out if he knew anything about Alit's whereabouts. Will only said that Alan once saw Alit's belongings at Officer Hin's house, but other than that, he knew nothing else. Late at night, Alit snuck into Devon's room and stole the file on Dom. She drove Devon's jeep, deciding to go meet Alan herself to hand him the file, hoping to stop this dangerous deal. Hearing the car, Devon and his officers immediately chased after her. Devon called Officer Penn, warning her that Alit was heading toward the hotel where Alan was staying. Ka tried to keep Alan at the bar by dragging him to dance and get a massage, but Alan didn't care at all and coldly headed back to his room. At the hotel, Alit barely managed to shove the file under the crack of Alan's door when he spotted her. She panicked and ran away, and Alan immediately chased right behind her. Right at that moment, Devon showed up in time, grabbing Alit and pulling her to safety. After that, Alan told Kot the whole story. Kot curiously asked who that mysterious girl was, but Alan said he didn't know and was just looking for the file she left behind. Through the security cameras, Alan caught Officer Penn taking that file, and instantly blew up at her. Meanwhile, Devon brought Alit home, slammed the door, and took all his anger out on her, blaming her for acting way too recklessly and completely ignoring the danger. Getting scolded so harshly, Alit quietly went into her room and burst into tears. When his anger faded, Devon also felt regretful for hurting her. As for Alan, Officer Penn took the initiative to bring the file back to him. When he opened it, Alan only saw pictures of himself inside, along with a note that said "Love the Prince." Alan was furious. Ka calmly explained that the girl from last night was just a crazy fan who purposely shoved that useless stuff under his door. Alan bought the excuse, coldly warning her never to let that girl near him again. Eventually, Commander Cat called Devon in for a severe scolding. He said that because of Devon's carelessness, Alit was almost put in danger. Devon bowed his head, apologized, and promised he wouldn't let anything like that happen ever again. Commander Cat added in a low voice that a poisoning attempt aimed at the king had happened in Rizit, and the situation was getting worse by the minute. He demanded that Devon and his team quickly track down the mastermind behind this plot, because it was highly likely their next target would be Alit. While reaching for a dish on the high kitchen shelf, Alit suddenly slipped. She lost her balance, fell hard, hit her head on something causing it to bleed and passed out. Right at that moment, Devon came home, holding a rose in his hand that he planned to use to apologize to her. As soon as he walked in, he panicked seeing Alit lying unconscious on the floor. Without overthinking it, Devon immediately picked her up and rushed her straight to the hospital, his heart filled with worry and fear. When Alit woke up, Devon barely left her side, carefully taking care of her down to the smallest details. Seeing how tired and guilty he looked, Alit softly apologized, admitting that because of her, his life had become a mess. Devon replied in a gentle voice, telling her to just treat him like a friend, and that he would never hurt her. Devon told her that if she wanted to go anywhere or do anything, she just had to tell him first. Alit asked if she asked for his permission, would he actually let her go. Devon answered straight up that he wouldn't allow dangerous things, but he would find a way to help her get what she wanted while staying safe. Devon stressed that her life was incredibly precious to a lot of people, and if she was planning to take a risk again, she should tell him so he could take that risk with her. Alit quietly pinky swore that she wouldn't do anything reckless anymore. Devon held her hand, like an unspoken promise. Kisi stood from a distance watching that whole scene, and slowly realized that Devon was catching feelings for Alit. That totally made her worried. That night, even though he was super sleepy, Devon still sat guarding right outside Alit's door. Seeing him like that, Alit brought out a cup of tea, gently telling him to drink it to stay awake. Devon smiled, clearly feeling the rare care she showed him. In another turn of events, Kot accidentally found some photos of Devon and his team. Suspecting that Devon was exactly the guy protecting Alit, Kot called Officer Penn over to ask straight up about the connection between the two of them. Ka denied it, saying she knew nothing. Right after that, Ka reported this back to Devon. Devon immediately got his guard up and warned everyone to be super careful around Kot. After that, Kot went back to meet Prince Will and told him that Devon was the son of Licha, the royal guard who sacrificed his life for the king of Rizit. From that, she guessed Devon and his team were the ones protecting Alit. Will looked at Devon's picture and suddenly remembered seeing him at the mall. Devon figured that if Alit was actually being protected by his team, they wouldn't leak any information that easily. In the meantime, Alit looked over at Officer Penn, a member of Devon's team, and whispered that she just got an idea. At the same time, Kot was putting a bird into a nest when she almost fell. King quickly caught her. Kot smiled, thanked him, and said that while she was here, he had to protect her. Those words, along with Kot's gaze, really left a mark on Kan and made his heart flutter. After getting out of the hospital, Alit went back home to rest. Kisi came to visit her, and as soon as she walked in, She noticed the unusually close vibe between Alit and Devon, which definitely annoyed her. Kisi took the lead, saying if the princess needed anything, just let her know. Alit calmly replied, telling Kisi she should head back to Rizit, because the king needed someone to take care of him since there was no one close to him over there. She insisted that in Thailand, Devon was already taking care of her. Kisi hesitated for a second and then agreed, saying that when Alit was fully recovered, she would head back to Rizit. Before leaving, Kisi called Devon out for a private talk. She bluntly reminded him that he was a good guy who had done his best to protect Alit, but he shouldn't forget that he was only a temporary husband. When everything was over, Alit had to return to Rizit, back to the world she belonged to, and couldn't stay in his world. After saying that, Kisi left, leaving Devon standing there frozen. Right then, he suddenly realized the massive gap between his status and his world compared to Alit's, something he had purposely been trying to forget all along. When he got back inside, Devon saw Alit dozing off on the sofa. Devon gently picked her up, carried her to the bedroom, laid her down on the bed, and quietly walked away. The rose he had meant to give her the other day was casually tossed into the trash, as if reminding himself that he had to stop. The next day, Commander Cat reported that Kat and Prince Will wanted to meet Devon. Worried that saying no would make them even more suspicious, Devon agreed to meet them. During the meeting, both of them asked where Alit was, claiming they were super worried about her. Devon kept his attitude cold, replying that he didn't know where Princess Alit was and couldn't help them with anything. Will acted like he didn't buy it, insisting Devon definitely knew exactly where she was. Devon bluntly fired back that if they truly cared about Alit, they should ask the king, because only the king knew her whereabouts. Getting totally shut down, Will stormed off in anger. At home, Alit kept calling Devon, but he wouldn't pick up. Kisi urged her to eat, but Alit said she would wait for Devon to come back so they could eat together. That attitude made Kisi even more annoyed. Meanwhile, Devon got a heavy scolding from Commander Cat for how he handled Prince Will. Cat reminded him to control his emotions, to remember that he was a soldier, and warned that if he let his feelings take the wheel, Alit would be the one landing in trouble. Realizing Devon had caught feelings, Cat demanded he be absolutely careful. Devon seriously took the blame and promised he wouldn't let something like that happen again. Coming back home, Devon saw Alit still hadn't eaten dinner and was dozing off on the sofa again. Devon gently fixed the bandage on her head. Alit woke up and asked why he didn't pick up the phone even though she called so many times. Devon said he was on a secret mission. Alit immediately argued back, claiming his mission was to protect her. Devon explained that Kat and Prince Will had called him in because they suspected he was protecting her. Hearing that, Alit got even more annoyed, arguing that it wasn't an excuse to ignore her calls. Devon showed her his phone. The screen clearly displayed over 200 missed calls. Alit felt awkward, lied that she had something important to tell him, and told him never to do that again. Devon asked why she hadn't eaten, and if she was waiting for him. Alit immediately denied it. Devon didn't argue any further, just saying they should go eat. The two sat facing each other having a meal. Devon occasionally looked at Alit, his eyes filled with mixed emotions, caring but also trying hard to hold back feelings he knew he shouldn't have. In Rizit, Andre secretly met up with a mysterious guy. This meeting didn't get past Tetra, who had been secretly tailing him and snapped pictures of the whole thing, then immediately brought them to show the king. When Andre was called in, the king threw the picture right in front of him and coldly claimed Andre was the mastermind behind the plot to end Alit's life. Andre instantly fired back, saying the guy in the picture was just his old bodyguard, and that he came to meet him with absolutely no bad intentions, while also arguing that the king was accusing him way too harshly. The king replied that he wasn't declaring Andre guilty, but he couldn't trust Mona, Andre's wife. Andre got furious, insisting Mona had nothing to do with it, and claimed the king was just being jealous and making baseless assumptions. In a fit of rage, Andre tore the picture to pieces, challenging the king that if he was still suspicious, he should just lock him up or finish him off, and he would gladly accept it. After saying that, Andre walked out without looking back. Not long after, the king suddenly fell seriously ill and was rushed to the ER. In another turn of events, Alan ordered Dom to quickly set up a meeting with the gold buyer because he needed to sell the gold he was holding. This conversation was eavesdropped by Officer Penn through a tracking device. Getting the intel, Devon and his team immediately reported back to Alit about the upcoming deal. Devon reassured her not to worry, saying he and his team would protect Alan themselves. However, Alit totally insisted on tagging along. Devon flat out refused, saying it was way too dangerous. Alit wouldn't back down, warning that if he didn't let her go with him, she would just follow him anyway, and told him not to say she didn't warn him. Faced with that stubbornness, Devon was forced to compromise, agreeing to take her along on the condition that she absolutely wouldn't interfere and could only watch through the camera. Alit agreed. At the same time, Prince Will secretly handed cash to a guy, ordering him to snatch both the money and Alan's gold during the deal happening that very day. Before heading out, Alit packed a ton of weapons. Seeing that, Devon wondered why she brought so many guns if she was just going to sit and watch. Alit calmly replied it was for self-defense. At the drop point, Alan and Dom met the buyer, and both sides swapped the money and gold exactly as agreed. Right at that moment, Prince Will's crew suddenly jumped out and attacked. Devon's team reacted instantly, stopping them from stealing the money and gold. In the chaos, a guy fired a shot that hit Alan in the leg. Watching the whole thing through the camera screen, Alit didn't hesitate, rushed out, and quickly shot down the guy who hurt Alan. Alan's eyes locked onto Alit, and in that split second, he recognized her. Childhood memories came rushing back, when Alit always stepped up to shield and protect him. Officer Penn quickly dragged Alan away from the scene and bandaged his wound. Ka's silent care made Alan feel warm inside. While things were still tense, another guy tried to shoot at Alit, but Devon showed up right in time and pulled her out of danger. Not long after, the cops arrived at the scene. Devon immediately got Alit out of there on a motorcycle. In the hospital, Alan asked Ka if it was actually Alit who saved him. Ka pretended to know nothing. Alan got the hint and reassured her that he wouldn't spill anything about Alit. Not long after, Kot came to visit Alan, straight up scolding him for getting tangled in an illegal gold trade. In Rizit, Andre dumped all his anger on Mona when he found out Alan was involved in the gold smuggling bust. Andre coldly blamed her for ruining his son and raising him terribly. Mona couldn't take it anymore, firing back that Andre wasn't innocent either and couldn't just dump all the blame on her. After saying that, Mona turned her back and left, leaving Andre standing there fuming. Somewhere else, Devon reported to Alit that all the gold had been recovered and shipped safely back to Rizit. However, the guy who directly pulled off the attack, Dom, was shot dead right at the scene, leaving them with zero clues to track down the mastermind behind it all. As things slowly settled down, Alit turned to Devon, gave a relieved smile, and expressed how happy she was that his team nailed the mission perfectly. Devon humbly accepted the thanks, and also promised he would pass that praise on to every member of the team. In another place, Prince Will fell into a massive rage when he found out the plan totally failed. He lost the money and didn't even score the gold. Meanwhile, Alit opened up to Devon, saying she felt guilty being handed her current position, because in her mind, that spot should have gone to her uncle Andre or Alan. Devon seriously shut that thought down, confirming that giving the heavy duty to Alit was the absolute right move. Devon said she was a kind person, always ready to help others without thinking about herself, and on top of that, super brave. Hearing those words, Alit laughed, teasing him that whenever Devon talked like that, he looked really cute. Devon asked in surprise if he usually looked ugly, and Alit bluntly said yeah, making both of them burst into an easy laugh. During that time, over in Rizit, the king was still in a coma and hadn't woken up. The officials in the court all suggested Andre step in temporarily for the king to keep things stable. At first, Andre firmly refused, but after Mona kept pushing him, he finally gave in. As soon as Andre took power, Mona immediately made her move. She ordered the arrest of Alit and everyone involved, while accusing Alit of poisoning the king and taking part in illegal gold smuggling. Tetra was also arrested under Mona's orders, even though there was zero solid evidence. Kot quickly brought this news to Andre. He immediately pushed back, claiming Alit could never do something like poisoning the king. Prince Will also spoke up, saying Mona was doing everything she could to knock Alit off the power board. Kot worriedly said they had to bring Alit back to Rizit as soon as possible, or else things would get way worse. At the same time, Devon's team was throwing a party to celebrate their successful mission. Kot went straight to Devon and asked point-blank if Alit was staying with him. Devon firmly denied it. Kot warned him that things in Rizit were going downhill fast and Alit absolutely had to return. Devon didn't say anything else and quietly walked away. Right after that, Devon got a call from Commander Kat calling an emergency team meeting. During the meeting, Kat broke the news about the serious accusations aimed at Alit back in Rizit, completely stunning Devon. Kat added that the king's health was in critical condition and the situation in Rizit was totally out of control, so they had to bring Alit back. Even though he didn't want to, Devon had to accept it and announced that the next day they would take the princess back to Rizit. However, Kat followed up by saying that the mission to bring Alit home would be handled by a different team. After that, Devon met Kisi and told her Alit was about to be taken back to Rizit. Kisi immediately objected, arguing that Rizit wasn't safe for Alit right now at all. Devon looked at her and said in a low voice that he needed Kisi to do him a favor. Kisi agreed without hesitation. The next day, Kot and another team arrived to pick Alit up, but all they saw was Kisi tied up inside the house. Kisi frantically told them someone had come and taken Alit away, and they all wore masks so she couldn't recognize who they were. Hearing that, Kot breathed a sigh of relief, saying it was fine, as long as Alit was still alive. Officer Hin was driving Alit out of the city, and she was still unconscious at the time. Devon showed up right on time and approached the car. Not long after, Alit woke up and, out of reflex, immediately pointed a gun straight at Devon, her eyes full of caution, asking where he was taking her. Devon calmly replied he was taking her to a safe place, then gently asked her to lower the gun, saying she didn't need to defend herself anymore because he was here. The car kept rolling under Hin's driving. Alit slowly calmed down, but her panic was still obvious. She asked what was going on and why Devon had knocked her out. Devon didn't dodge the question, telling her straight up that she was currently being accused of illegally smuggling gold from Rizit. Hearing that, Alit insisted she would go back to Rizit to see the king, fully believing he would help her clear everything up. Devon was forced to tell her the truth. The king was in critical condition, lying in the hospital not yet awake, and on top of that, she was the one being accused of poisoning him. Alit was stunned, painfully asking why Devon didn't tell her sooner. In total despair, she slapped him and demanded to go back to Rizit no matter what. Devon held her back. Alit broke down crying, begging to go back to the king. Seeing her completely break down, Devon softened his voice and comforted her, saying he had already set up a safe place for her. Devon swore he would protect her with his life and bring her back to Rizit safely when the time was right, just hoping she would trust him and cooperate. Finally, in tears, Alit agreed to go with Devon. After that, Devon took Alit to a small village deep in the mountains, far away from the city. Devon explained that the people here were all folks he knew, so she wouldn't run into any trouble. Right when they stepped out of the car, a girl ran up and threw her arms around Devon, happily saying she missed him so much and teasing that he was still as handsome as ever. Devon introduced the girl to Alit, saying she was Manmi, his friend, and also the daughter of the village chief. Devon also made it clear to Manmi that he brought Alit here to protect her. Manmi enthusiastically offered to show them to their place. On the way, Alit quietly asked Devon why he didn't tell Manmi she was his wife. Devon bluntly replied that Manmi was very close to him, so even if he said that, it would be hard for her to believe. Hearing that, Alit blurted out that their relationship seemed closer than normal. After getting them to their place, Devon warned Manmi not to blow Alit's cover no matter what. Manmi reassured him, saying she would tell everyone Alit was Devon's relative and he brought her here for a trip. Devon thanked her. Seeing Devon and Manmi laughing and chatting so closely, Alit stood by, a hard-to-describe feeling of jealousy rising inside her. Meanwhile, Kisi went back to Rizit and secretly met up with Tetra, reporting that Alit had been taken to a safe place. Hearing that news, Tetra breathed a sigh of relief, happily saying it was a good thing Alit didn't come back right now. Otherwise, things would definitely be way more dangerous. On the flip side, Commander Cat gathered Devon's team and laid down a strict warning. He said Devon had taken Alit to a safe place, but absolutely no one could know about this. If the info leaked, Devon would be in huge trouble. So everyone had to act like they had zero clue about Alit's whereabouts. Not long after, Kat called Commander Cat asking for updates. Kat stuck to the story, replying there was no new info yet, and he would let her know the second there was. Kat expressed that she always supported Alit, just hoped she was safe, and desperately begged them to find Alit as soon as possible. At the mountain village, Devon gave Alit a set of clothes to change into. She asked how long they had to stay there. Devon replied they would stay until everything back in Rizit was fully sorted out. After that, he brought food to her, but Alit refused. She just sat there zoning out, her mind heavy with worry over the king's condition. Trying to lighten the mood, Devon threw a dagger into a nearby tree trunk as a joke. But that move only annoyed Alit. She turned to scold him, telling him not to waste time on useless things, saying she had way too much on her mind and couldn't just easily brush everything aside. Devon asked if she could just relax for a bit, but Alit coldly said no, then turned her back and walked away. That blunt rejection made Devon frustrated, but when left alone, he couldn't hide his worry for her. Mammy saw the whole thing and spoke up. She said Alit was clearly unhappy, yet Devon was so worried about her, guessing it wasn't just a duty to protect, but personal feelings getting mixed in. Devon immediately denied it, telling her not to overthink things and instead figure out how to cheer Alit up. Hearing that, Mammy smiled, saying she already had an idea. Devon brought a pair of shoes, bent down to put them in front of Alit, and told her to follow him. Alit shook her head, refusing. Devon patiently said the villagers had prepared something for her, so no matter what, she should go take a look. Finally, Alit reluctantly agreed. In the middle of the village, the locals gathered to hold a simple but solemn ceremony for Alit, all from Manmi's idea. The deep sounds of flutes and drums echoed through the forest, while incense smoke blended into the evening breeze, slowly calming everyone's hearts. Standing among a circle of strangers, Alit felt a rare sense of peace, as if the heavy worries inside her were somehow smoothed over. When the ceremony ended, Alit stood alone, looking out at the sky ahead. Devon walked up next to her and softly asked if the view was beautiful. Then he slowly said that if she kept getting lost in her thoughts, she wouldn't be able to see the beautiful things still existing right around her. Alit didn't answer, but her eyes softened. The next morning, Devon woke up and caught Alit standing out in the yard, focused on throwing knives at a tree trunk. The blades hit clean and sharp. Devon couldn't help but smile, happy to see she was finally starting to enjoy life instead of just chewing on her worries. Devon walked over, offering to train with her to see what she had learned. The two practiced together, the distance between them sometimes closing in, their breaths crossing for a brief moment, almost touching lips. Both of them froze, awkwardly turning away. Somewhere else, Kat was watching a video of Prince Will's speech. Alan looked at her and dropped a teasing remark, asking if she liked Will. Kat instantly denied it, telling him to stop guessing wildly. Alan smirked, saying he just had to look at her face to know exactly how much she liked Will. But he didn't forget to remind her that Prince will like to let everyone knew that. Devin advised Kat to give up hope, or else she would only hurt herself later. Kat got annoyed, told him to stop talking nonsense, and asked when he was going back to Rizit. Ellen asked her right back. Kat said she would only go back after finding Alit. Ellen looked at her closely, bluntly saying that maybe she didn't really want to find Alit, but was just lying to herself to avoid the truth. Those words made Kat go silent. After that, Kat met Prince Will. Will said she was way too nice, always worrying about others while nobody actually cared about her. Kat coldly replied she didn't need anyone to worry about her. Will looked at her saying he worried. Devin stepped closer, reaching out as if to touch her, but Kat immediately pushed his hand away, keeping a clear distance between them. In another turn of events, Alit caught Devin bending over to wash her clothes by the stream. A few village women standing nearby were laughing and gossiping openly. Feeling annoyed, Alit walked over and snatched the clothes out of Devin's hands, saying she would wash them herself. Devin looked at her and asked straight up if she even knew how to wash clothes. Alit honestly admitted she didn't, but still insisted he didn't need to do it for her. Devin calmly replied that if he didn't wash them, who would, since Kisi wasn't here anymore. The two pulled back and forth, and Devin told her not to be shy. In the struggle, Alit slipped and fell, and the laughter around them rang out again. Devin rushed to help her up. Alit embarrassedly said she didn't want to be the joke for people to laugh at anymore, and told him she wanted him to teach her how to wash clothes. Devin smiled and agreed. Devin patiently showed her every step, from scrubbing the shirt to rinsing it out. While doing it, the distance between them unconsciously closed in, and the vibe got much softer. Meanwhile, Prince Will kept trying to get close to Kat. This time, Kat didn't dodge him like before, and they ended up spending the whole night together. One late night, Alit was tossing and turning, unable to sleep, so she went over to Mammy's house. At that moment, Mammy was putting together English lessons for the village kids. Alit sat down to help her out. After Mammy left, Alit fell asleep right there from exhaustion. Devin came looking for her, called her softly, but Alit didn't wake up. Devin had no choice but to carry her home, gently laid her on the bed, and quietly walked out. Only when the door clicked shut did Alit open her eyes. Turns out she had been awake the whole time. The next day, Prince Will handed Kat a stack of paperwork to get approval to buy gold from Rizit. Kat confidently said her dad already knew they were together, so he would definitely say yes right away. Will asked again about finding Alit. Kat replied the plan was already rolling, they just needed a bit more time. At the mountain village, Mammy and Alit went into the forest with Devin to pick leaves for cooking. Seeing Devin and Mammy walking and chatting so happily, Alit felt totally uncomfortable inside. Suddenly, Mammy slipped and fell, and Devin immediately rushed over to help her up, looking super worried. Alit stood frozen, surprised by that reaction. When Mammy walked away, Alit purposely faked a slip and fell down too. Devin, this time, just strolled over and casually said he already told her not to follow him. Alit angrily called him out, saying when Mammy fell he was freaking out, but with her, he didn't care at all. Before Devin could fully process what she meant, Alit fell one more time, leaving him with no other choice but to carry her all the way back. After that, Mammy's dad called Devin over for a private talk. Alit stood from a distance watching them, feeling uneasy, not knowing what they were talking about. A few women in the village whispered to Alit that an archery contest was coming up, and the village chief was going to announce something big, very likely the marriage between Mammy and Devin. Hearing that, Alit panicked. When Devin came back, Alit immediately asked what he said. Devin just replied it was private and she didn't need to care. That answer made Alit furious. She grabbed a bow and shot back-to-back arrows, nailing them right into the target. Devin was startled by how sharp she was, quickly telling her she shot really well, so why didn't she join the contest tomorrow? Alit replied she didn't want to lose, and since he always won, he should be the one to join. Devin then said he didn't know how to shoot. Alit immediately said she would teach him. Devin asked if she was sure she could teach him in just one day. Alit asked back if he was sure he trusted her. She said whatever he taught her she picked up super fast, so the same went for him. Alit started showing Devin how to hold the bow, aim at the target, and release the string. Through every move, the two got closer without even noticing. Devin then advised Alit to join the contest. No one here knew her real identity, so she didn't need to stress over winning or losing, just enjoy it. Right then Mammy brought food over, warning them the dish was really spicy. Alit said no matter how spicy it was she would eat it. She kept her word, forcing down every bite even though it was so spicy her eyes turned red. When she saw Devin and Mammy deep in conversation without paying any attention to her, Alit quietly stood up to leave. Devin didn't stop her, even telling her to head out first because he needed to talk to Mammy privately. That night, Alit sat alone, her mind completely stuck on the private chat between Devin and Mammy earlier that afternoon. Devin walked over, breaking the silence. Alit looked at him, hesitated for a second, and bluntly asked if he had a girlfriend. Devin replied he didn't have a girlfriend, but there was always someone in his heart. Devin added that their worlds were way too different, to the point he wasn't even sure if he would ever get a chance to see that person again. Hearing those words, Alit totally misunderstood. She assumed Devon was talking about Manmi, and a rush of emotions made her angrily turn her back and walk away. Devon had no idea that the person he was talking about was actually Alit. The next day, the village archery contest officially went down. Both Manmi and Alit joined. Right from the start, Alit noticed the villagers were cheering way harder for Manmi. Seeing that lively vibe, Alit silently made a choice. She purposely missed her final shot, handing the win to Manmi. When Manmi won, the whole village exploded in joy. Devon went to find Alit, clearly confused as to why she lost on purpose. Alit calmly said that when Manmi won, everyone was happy, but if she won, no one would actually care. Devon was surprised, unable to believe she was willing to throw away a win for someone else. Alit brought up what he once said, that winning wasn't always the most important thing. She pushed him to go congratulate Manmi, since she was waiting for him. After saying that, Alit turned around and left, leaving Devon standing there, not understanding why she would say such confusing things. Somewhere else, Prince will confess to Kot that he fell in love with her at first sight, like love at first sight. However, he also made it clear that his dad wanted him to marry Alit to unite their country with Rizit. Kot replied that she loved him very much. Will also confirmed his feelings for Kot were totally genuine. Back at the village, Mami's dad announced his daughter's upcoming wedding to the villagers. Devon walked Mami out in front of everyone. Seeing that scene, Alit was absolutely sure Devon was going to marry Mami, and her heart sank a little. But right after that, Mami's dad announced that the groom was someone else, and Devon was just the bride's older brother. Hearing this, Alit couldn't hold back a relieved smile. Devon turned to look at her, asking why she looked so happy. Alit said she was happy for Mami. Devon looked at her with a knowing look, saying he felt like she was happy because he wasn't the one marrying Mami. Alit glared at him and didn't answer. After that, both of them joined the dance, enjoying the fun and joyful vibe with the villagers. In another turn of events, Alan walked into the room and ordered Officer Pen to make coffee. Ka quietly followed the order. While waiting, Alan casually asked why he hadn't seen Devon around lately, and if he had taken Alit with him. Ka set the coffee cup on the table and coldly replied she knew nothing. Alan didn't push any further, just saying if Ka didn't tell him, he would go investigate himself. The next day, Alan went to Commander Kat's house and ran into Mrs. Dan and Pooh. When they found out Alan was King Henrinria's son, both of them immediately bowed respectfully, and then led him to Devon's house. They said the house had been locked up tight for days, and Devon had been gone for a while with his wife. That info left Alan completely speechless. Devon quickly asked for the wife's name and got the answer Nari, the exact name Devon used to introduce Alit. Once they left, Alan broke the lock and barged into the house. Right in front of him was the wedding picture hanging on the wall, showing Devon and Alit. Alan was shocked. He immediately showed the picture to Officer Pen and asked if the person in the photo was actually Alit, and if she really married a naval officer. Ka hesitated, but figuring Alan wasn't a bad guy and wouldn't hurt Alit, she finally spilled the whole truth. Alan thanked her for trusting him, saying from now on they were friends, and reached out his hand to shake hers. After that, Alan video called Mona and asked straight up if she was the one spreading rumors in Rizit that Alit wanted to kill the king. Mona denied it, but Alan didn't buy it, believing his own mom was the one pulling the strings behind everything. At the same time, over in Rizit, the king woke up. Devon also got this news from an officer. Mami accidentally overheard it, found out Alit was a princess and got super excited. Devon instantly covered her mouth, strictly warning her not to leak it to anyone. When she heard the king woke up, Mona panicked and pushed Andre to escape to Thailand to dodge getting punished for what they had done. Kisi and Tetra reported the situation back to the king. The king said to just let them go, and at the same time ordered Commander Kat to get in touch to bring Alit back to Rizit. At the village, Alit hurt her hand. Mami panicked and called her princess, accidentally slipping her secret. Alit angrily went to find Devon, demanding to know why he told Mami her real identity. Devon explained that Mami just accidentally found out, and then dropped the news that the king had woken up. Hearing that, Alit burst into joy, throwing her arms around Devon, unable to hide her emotion. Somewhere else, Officer Pen broke the news about the king waking up to Kot. Kot happily hugged him tight, then quickly apologized for getting too excited. Right at that moment, Prince Will walked up and saw the whole thing. When Ka left, Will asked Kot if this was how she was looking for Alit. Kot admitted it. Will said he didn't like that method and clearly showed he was jealous. Kot promised she wouldn't do it again. Commander Kat then informed Devon's team that he had to bring Alit back. That night, Devon and Alit sat together looking up at the starry sky. Alit confessed her feelings. Devon leaned in close, about to kiss her, but in the end he pulled back. The next morning, Devon and his team took Alit out of the village, heading back to Bangkok. On the way, Alit realized Devon already knew since last night that she was going back to Rizit, which was exactly why he didn't return her feelings. Once they reached a safe spot in Bangkok, Alit got mad at Devon because he hadn't said a word to her earlier. Meanwhile, Andre and Mona also arrived in Thailand to find Alan. Mona kept pushing her son to do whatever it took to grab the crown, but Alan flat out refused, saying he didn't need that kind of power, and that Alit was the one who actually deserved it. Mona got furious and kicked him out of the room. After that, the king called Alit, ordering her to head back to Rizit within 2 days. Alit asked if the culprit had been caught yet. The king said no, and also warned her that Mona was in Thailand and could put her in danger, because he suspected she was the one behind all the plots. Hearing that, Alit felt sad because she was forced to go back. Devon came over to call her for a meal, and Alit said she would be leaving in 2 days. Hearing that news, Devon froze, unable to hide his sadness. The next morning, Officer Hin drove Alit to Devon's house. As soon as he saw her show up at the door, Devon immediately lost his temper and turned to scold Hin for bringing the princess there without permission. Alit quickly spoke up to explain, saying she was the one who forced Hin to do it, and he wasn't at fault at all. Devon turned to Alit, his voice full of worry and annoyance, asking why she would risk going out when she knew exactly how dangerous things were. Alit calmly replied that she only came here to get her memories back. Hearing that, Devon coldly said that in this house, only the memories of his wife, Nari, existed, the one he claimed would forever stay in his heart. Alit didn't argue back, just softly said that your wife Nari would be leaving tomorrow, so for today, please let her stay here. Right at that moment, Devon's mom, Gowani, a police officer, suddenly showed up. Seeing his mom, Devon panicked instantly. Gowani strictly asked why her son got married without telling her, and why he was in such a rush that he couldn't even wait for her to come back. Devon tried to stay calm and explained that he loved her, that she had no parents, lived abroad, and had only recently come to Thailand. Devon said he fell in love with her at first sight, and since she had no one to rely on in Thailand, he decided to marry her so she could live with him at the naval base. When Gowani asked what country the girl was from, Alit was about to speak up, but Devon quickly cut in, saying she was from the Netherlands, because he knew his mom absolutely hated Rizit and its people. Gowani didn't buy her son's story so easily. She bluntly said this whole thing made zero sense, and that Devon was never the type to fall in love so fast. He had plenty of women around him but never paid attention to anyone, and even always claimed marriage was a lifelong commitment that needed serious thought. Yet now, out of nowhere, he said he married a total stranger. Devon still firmly defended his choice, insisting Nari was the perfect partner. Devon introduced Alit to his mom using the name Nari, trying hard to keep the story going to the end. Gowani turned to look at Alit and coldly warned that if she married her son without real love, she better get out of his life right now. After saying that, she didn't wait for anyone to answer, turned around and walked away, leaving a heavy vibe in the house. After that, Mrs. Dan and Pooh took turns trash-talking Alit in front of Gowani, making the doubts in her head grow even bigger. On the way back, Alit couldn't hold back her curiosity and asked Devon why he told his mom she was from the Netherlands. Devon explained that if he said the real name of her country, his mom would immediately figure out her true identity. However, Alit still didn't fully buy that explanation. The next day, Alit went to see Tetra to ask about Devon's dad. From that, she found out his dad used to be the king's royal guard and sacrificed his life in Rizit, while risking everything to protect him. Carrying that truth, Alit went on to ask Commander Kat. He made it clear that ever since she lost her husband for Rizit, Gowani hated that country and didn't even want to hear its name. Devon lying about Alit's identity was exactly because of that reason, because if Gowani knew her son married the princess of Rizit, she would be completely shocked. After that, Devon went to see Alit. She told him she already knew the truth about his dad. Devon just gently replied that she didn't need to worry anymore, because she was about to go back, and when she left, everything would end right here. Alit asked how he was going to explain Nari's disappearance to his mom. Devon bluntly said he only had 2 choices. Either say they got divorced or say she passed away. Right at that moment, Commander Kat showed up and told Devon to get ready, because tomorrow he would take Alit back to Rizit. Devon quietly left. That night, he came back to see Alit, saying he wanted to say something to his wife Nari. Devon admitted he couldn't give Nari anything as a husband, so before they split, he wanted to give her something. Devon handed Alit the Medal of Bravery, a keepsake his dad once gave his mom as a symbol of their deep love. Devon said that medal stood for love and duty, and he wanted to use it to show his feelings. Alit took it, hugged him tight, and said Nari's heart would never forget him. Somewhere else, Alan was chatting with Officer Penn about Alit. Kat accidentally overheard them and confirmed that Alit was being protected by Devon and was about to head back to Rizit. She immediately told her dad, Andre, that she would be going back too. Andre realized his mistake of listening to Mona and pushing his daughter away before, and he got really emotional. Kat burst into happy tears. On the flip side, Mona was furious seeing she had just lost her husband and couldn't even control her son. When Kat left the room, Mona even threw out a threat, but this time Kat grabbed her hand and fired right back, leaving Mona stunned by the change in the daughter who used to just take it. The next day, Kat got ready to return to Rizit. Alan asked her if she really wanted to go, and even brought up whether she was afraid Alit would steal Prince Will away. Right at that moment, Will showed up. Seeing him, Alan immediately understood why Kat was so chill about it. After Alan left, Kat asked Will if their relationship would change when Alit came back. Will confidently promised it would never change because he loved her. Meanwhile, Gawani went to see Commander Kat and said she knew Devon married Nari to protect her, but she wanted to know who Nari actually was.
Commander Kat stayed quiet.
Gawani said she had already lost her husband, and didn't he want to lose her son too? Kat just replied that Nari was a good girl and wouldn't he cause any trouble for Devon, but he couldn't he say anything more. Gawani stormed off angrily and immediately called Devon, demanding he come home. Devon said he was on a mission and couldn't he go back. Right at that moment, Gawani was attacked and kidnapped by a group of guys. Devon was still on the phone, so he realized what was happening right away. Not long after, he got a call from the kidnapper, demanding he bring Alit to trade for his mom's life. While Alit was getting ready to head back to Rizit, Officer Penn broke the news that Devon's mom had been kidnapped. Alit immediately called the king, saying she couldn't he come back right now because Gawani was kidnapped because of her. She insisted that if anything happened to her, she would never forgive herself, and she absolutely had to stay and help Devon. Even though the king was worried and tried to stop her, Alit kept begging, and in the end, he had to agree. However, worried about Rizit's fate if Alit was put in danger, the king called an emergency meeting and announced that Alan would be the next heir to the throne, while stripping Alit of her crown princess title. At the same time, Andre suddenly fell ill and was rushed to the hospital by Alan. Mona was super thrilled when she heard the king's decision, but Alan got angry, saying he didn't he want that position and thought he didn't he deserve it. Alan left feeling totally messed up, not understanding why the king would hand him such a heavy duty when he hadn't even done anything good. As for Alit, she went to Devon's office. He asked in surprise why she was still here instead of going back to Rizit. Alit said that as long as his mom wasn't safe, she wasn't going anywhere. Devon pulled her aside to talk privately, warning her that this was incredibly dangerous and she shouldn't get involved. Alit replied she didn't care, because he had risked his life for her so many times too. Devon argued that you couldn't compare his life to hers. Alit calmly said he only talked like that because she was a princess, but first and foremost they were both human. She stressed that Devon had lost his dad for Rizit, and she wasn't going to let him lose any more family members. At this point, Devon had no choice but to listen to Alit and reluctantly go along with the setup for now. Meanwhile, Kat arrived at the Rizit palace. Seeing the vibe in the palace getting unusually busy, she asked a servant what event they were prepping for. The servant respectfully replied it was Alan's coronation. Hearing that, Kat was stunned. A dizzy feeling hit her so hard she could barely stand. She immediately went to see the king to talk. Looking at Kat's reaction, the king slowly noted that she didn't seem happy at all about her brother getting the crown. Right then, Tetra rushed in to report that Andre was in the hospital. The king immediately called to check on his son. On the other end of the line, Andre coldly said the king was probably really happy to see him in this situation. Hearing that, the king's voice dropped. He confirmed that Andre was his son, and he could never be happy seeing his child suffer. He told Andre to bring his whole family back to Rizit, and promised not to punish him. Those words made Andre unable to hold back his emotions. Tears broke out, and all the frustration and hurt he had been holding on to finally burst out. Alit laid out the rescue plan for Gawani to Devon's team. According to the plan, Devon would fake tying Alit up and then escort her to where the hostage was held, to throw the kidnappers off. When the chance came, Alit would figure out a way to break free, get to Gawani and rescue her, while Devon stayed behind to hold the line and fight the thugs head-on. Everything went exactly as planned. Alit successfully got Gawani out safely, then immediately ran back to back up Devon. As soon as they got outside, Gawani looked at Commander Kat and spoke in a calm but loaded tone. She said she knew Nari was a princess, and demanded he tell her what country that girl belonged to. Commander Kat coldly replied that she didn't need to know that. Right at that moment, a thug suddenly fired a shot. The bullet was aimed straight at Alit. Devon froze as he watched her drop. Almost at the exact same time, the police squad crashed the scene. Devon panicked and rushed over, grabbing Alit who was covered in blood. Devon burst into tears with only one thought in his head. He had lost her. Without hesitating, Devon immediately rushed Alit to the ER. Gawani also ran in after them. Seeing her son that shocked, worried, and totally desperate, she understood clearer than ever just how deeply Devon loved Alit. Alit was quickly rushed into the operating room. Outside, Devon couldn't sit still, just pacing back and forth in endless anxiety. Commander Kat and the rest of the team were also there. Everyone's faces clearly showing worry for her condition. Finally, the doctor stepped out and announced that Alit was out of danger. The bullet couldn't go deep into her body because it was blocked by a metal. Hearing that, Devon froze. Devon realized that the metal was the exact gift he had given Alit. It was the very thing that saved her life. After that, Devon went into the room to visit Alit while she was still unconscious and hadn't woken up yet. Looking at her pale face lying still on the hospital bed, he choked up and said she didn't need to risk her life for him like that. Devon brought up his family's military tradition, saying their job was to sacrifice for others. His dad had fallen in the line of duty, and that was always the family's pride. Devon believed that one day, His mom would also understand and accept that. Somewhere else, the kidnapper managed to escape the cops chasing him. He called a mysterious guy, his voice cold and decisive, reporting that the first mission was done and Alit had been taken out. He confirmed the second mission would go down the very next day. Early the next morning, Mona woke Andre up, telling him he should head back to Rizit because the car was already there to pick him up. The king had sent an invite for him to attend the coronation. Alan kept refusing, insisting he didn't want to go back and didn't need any of those titles. Andre calmly replied that if Alan didn't want to go, he and his wife would just head back to Rizit by themselves. Mona worriedly asked if the king would punish them, but Andre let her know he had already talked to the king and got a guarantee that there wouldn't be any punishment. Hearing that, Mona agreed to hit the road. Before leaving, Andre left a letter in Alan's room. After his parents left the hotel, Alan read the letter. The words brought back warm childhood memories, reminding him of the things his dad used to teach and protect him with. Those exact memories made Alan change his mind in an instant. Devon hurried to pack up to head back to Rizit. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Alit fell into a heavy nightmare. In her dream, she saw someone trying to take Alan's life. Alit woke up panicking. Devon, right by her side, quickly calmed her down. Once she cooled off, Alit told Devon about the terrifying dream and begged him to help protect Alan. Devon left the hospital room, went to find Commander Kat, and passed on the message that Princess Alit wanted him to protect Alan, because Alan was the next heir after her and could very well be the new target to be taken out. Realizing how serious the situation was, Commander Kat immediately hit the road with Officer Penn. At the same time, Mona and Andre left the hotel to head back to Rizit. Alan chased after them, but the car had already rolled down the street a bit. Alan quickly called his mom. Right before the call even ended, the car suddenly blew up. Very shortly after, Alan rushed over in a panic, only to find Mona and Andre dead right on the spot. At this moment, Devon and Officer Penn arrived just in time, trying their best to comfort the devastated Alan. Meanwhile, Devon spotted the kidnapper, Naipo, hanging around nearby and immediately chased after him. The bad news quickly made its way back to Rizit. The king was absolutely heartbroken over Andre's death. Kat was also stunned and totally shocked hearing her dad passed away. The king tried to hug and comfort his granddaughter. Commander Kat then broke the news to Alit. Unable to believe it, she shockingly asked why things turned out like this. Commander Kat explained that Alan was actually supposed to be in that car, but backed out at the very last second. This proved someone wanted to take Alan's life, and Mona and Andre ended up dying in his place. Figuring out that truth, Alit realized Mona and Andre never actually planned to harm her. The real target was exactly Alan. A dark plot was slowly coming to light, and the mastermind behind it all was still a total mystery. As for Alan, he was drowning in endless pain over losing his parents. The memories of them kept flashing back, making him feel even more hopeless. Officer Penn stayed by his side to comfort him, but Alan just quietly told her to pass a message to Alit. He didn't want that position and wished her the best. He had already lost his parents to these power struggles, and didn't want to lose anything else. In another turn of events, Devon went to the hospital to visit Alit and told her everything that had gone down. Not long after, Commander Kat showed up, bringing news that the king demanded Alit return to Rizit immediately. Inside the palace, Kat cried her eyes out over losing her dad. Prince Will stayed right by her side to comfort her. Through her grief, Kat bitterly complained that if Alan had been in that car, her dad wouldn't have died. Will calmed her down, telling her she needed to stay strong. Will spilled that after this tragedy, the government officials were thinking about picking a new heir. When Kat asked in surprise how he knew, Will said they had asked for his opinion, and he had nominated her himself. Hearing that, even in the middle of losing her dad, Kat couldn't help but feel a secret rush of joy inside. Meanwhile, Devon went to the hospital to visit Alit. In the quiet room, Alit slowly said that in Rizit, people believe that after you pass away, your soul goes back to your family. Hearing that, Devon half-jokingly replied he had no idea if that was true or not, and figured he would probably have to cross over to the other side before he could tell her. That comment made Alit laugh. She softened her voice, saying that if she were to pass away one day, the very first thing she'd want to do is apologize to Mona and Andre for misunderstanding them. Devon went quiet for a second and then said that if he ever sacrificed his life like his dad, he would tell him that he was always super proud of him. In that exact same hospital, Gawani, Devon's mom, was also getting treated. When she ran into Commander Kat, she couldn't hide her frustration. She asked if he remembered that she lost her husband because of the princess, yet now he was handing the mission of protecting the princess right to her own son. Commander Kat calmly replied that Alit would be leaving tomorrow. After that, Devon would stay behind while Alit headed back to Rizit, and the two of them wouldn't have a chance to see each other ever again. Hearing that, Gawani was stunned, saying he couldn't just say things like that, because who knew? Maybe they had already caught feelings for each other. Commander Kat replied that Devon was a responsible soldier, and he wouldn't let personal feelings mess with his mission. After saying that, he turned his back and walked away, leaving Gawani with a growing sense of unease. Old memories flashed through Gawani's mind. She used to try her absolute best to stop her husband from taking the job as the king's royal guard, but he still decided to go to Rizit and then never came back. That exact painful memory made Gawani's heart clench. Carrying that fear, Gawani went to find Alit. She asked why Alit risked her life to save her. Alit replied straight up that because of her family, Gawani had lost her husband, so she wanted to pay that debt back. Hearing those words, Gawani couldn't hold back her emotions. She dropped to her knees in front of Alit, choking up as she begged her to let Devon go. She said she was terrified of losing her son, because if that happened, she would have absolutely nothing left in this life. In another turn of events, Commander Cat met up with Devon and bluntly told him his mom already knew the whole story. She was super scared Devon would catch feelings for Alit. Cat mentioned he had already explained to Gawani that Devon would never let his mission and personal life get mixed up. Devon calmly replied that he was right. To him, the mission always came first. After Gawani left, Devon stopped by Alit's hospital room. However, he only stood there for a moment before quietly turning away, not stepping inside to see her. Inside the room, Alit stood huddled in the corner, tears quietly falling, as Devon's mom's words kept echoing in her head. At the same time, Officer Penn reported to Commander Cat that Alan had vanished from the hotel. In reality, Alan was at the airport, heavily disguised and getting ready to board a flight to Argentina. Back at the palace, Cat worriedly asked the king where Alan had gone. The king shook his head, saying he had no clue and had already ordered Commander Cat's team to go find him. He was totally exhausted and stressed out from the back-to-back disasters, not knowing what else he could even do. He complained that when he made Alit the crown princess, someone tried to take her out, and when he picked Alan, he ended up being tracked too. In the end, he asked himself who he should even pick as the heir. Hearing those words, Kat quietly walked over to Alit's portrait. That exact moment clearly showed the deep desire hiding in her heart, the crown that Alit was currently holding onto. Somewhere else, Devon went back home with his mom. Gawani asked in surprise why he wasn't out on his mission. Devon replied he took time off to stay by her side and take care of her. Commander Cat later passed the message to Alit that Devon wouldn't be seeing her off at the airport. Hearing the news, Alit couldn't hide her sadness, because today she was heading back to Rizit and would probably never see him again. Desperate, Alit called Officer Penn asking for help. Ka went to see Devon, trying hard to convince him that Alit really wanted to see him one last time. In the end, Devon finally agreed. Officer Penn disguised Alit as a nurse and took her to the church where Devon was waiting. When Alit showed up, she asked why he didn't take her to the airport today. Devon replied the rest of the team would make sure she was safe, while he took time off to take care of his mom. Alit slowly brought up that he once said he would only get married once in his life, and she wanted to talk to him about that. But Devon cut her off, saying it was true he said that, but he wouldn't consider that marriage to be real, because it was just a mission, not love. Those words left Alit totally speechless. She asked if he had never loved her, and if everything was just an act. Devon coldly replied the only thing he loved was his mission. Alit kept asking why that day. He said in his heart there was a memory of a wife named Nari. Devon replied that Nari didn't actually exist in this world. When Alit looked confused and didn't get it, he made it clear that it was just the truth. She was a princess, the future queen of her country, while he was just a regular soldier. Devon was going to forget Nari, and she should forget Nari too. It was time for both of them to go their separate ways and fulfill their duties. After saying that, he wished her a safe trip and turned away. Alit choked back tears and said thank you, that he had reminded her everything was just a play. Right after that, Commander Cat showed up to take Alit back to Rizit. She quietly slipped the wedding ring off her finger, followed him out, and left behind shattered feelings she couldn't even put a name to. Officer Penn asked Devon suspiciously how Commander Cat knew Alit was there. Devon calmly admitted he was the one who called Cat. Not long after, the king called an emergency meeting with the high-ranking officials. Cat walked into the meeting room looking obviously excited, fully believing in her heart that the crown would finally be hers. Sure enough, several government officials took turns nominating Kat to be the next heir to the kingdom. However, the king calmly announced that there was no need to pick a new heir, because Alit had returned to the position that rightfully belonged to her. Right at that moment, the meeting room doors opened, and Alit showed up in front of everyone. Kat froze. She couldn't believe her eyes seeing Alit was still alive, because she always assumed Alit had died in the earlier shooting. The truth slowly came to light. All the attacks aimed at Alit were secretly pulled off by Kat herself. Because of her thirst for the crown, Kat didn't hesitate to find ways to take her younger sister's life. Opposite to Kat's anger and resentment, Alit actually smiled when she saw her after being apart for a while, as if she still saw Kat as her own flesh and blood. That attitude made Kat even more angry and bitter. After the meeting, the king went to see Prince Will. When he saw Alit, Will couldn't hide his shock, instantly realizing that Kat had totally lost her chance to become the crown princess. Even so, he still pretended to show deep worry for Alit, acting as if he always cared about her safety. The king watched the two of them standing next to each other, and quickly realized their relationship went beyond just normal caring. From Will's eyes and gestures, He understood that there was a deep, hidden affection between the prince and Alit that had never been spoken out loud all this time. Kot angrily went to see Henri and gave him a slap. Henri said that someone must have definitely saved Alit that day. Kot yelled at Henri, saying Alit was still alive, Alan was gone, and she would never get the crown. Henri begged Kot for one more chance, promising he wouldn't let her down this time and would help her win the crown. Kot said she only had him, trusting him with everything. After that, Kot walked away, her heart full of anger directed at Alit. Henri was exactly the guy who poisoned the king's coin, kidnapped Devon's mom, and planned to finish off Alan, but unfortunately Mona and Andre were the ones who ended up dead. Somewhere else, Devon missed Alit and sat eating dinner looking sad. His mom, Goani, noticed that and asked if he was worrying about Alit. Devon replied that he couldn't stop himself from worrying about her, but he could stop himself from getting too deeply involved in this, and he had done just that. The next day, Devon trained his team. The members noticed he had changed ever since Alit left. After that, Devon became much stricter and grumpier than before. Meanwhile, Alit found out about Alan going missing through Tetra and Kisi, so she ordered Tetra to go find Alan quickly. Tetra called Officer Pen to ask about Alan's whereabouts because Ka was the one who stayed by his side the longest back in Thailand. However, Officer Pen said she knew nothing. The last time she saw him, Alan was super sad about his parents. In the next turn of events, Prince Will came to visit Alit. Seeing the two holding hands, Kot was completely shocked and ran over to tell Alit that if she planned to marry Prince Will, she better tell Kot beforehand so she could mentally prepare herself. Alit didn't get it, asking Kot what she meant. Kot replied she would be very happy if the two got married, then turned her back and walked away. Prince Will ran after Kot and asked what kind of nonsense she just said. Kot fired back, asking if she didn't even have the right to speak now. Prince Will said he had to marry Alit according to his dad's wishes. Kot replied that if he needed to marry a princess, he should use his connections to help her win the crown, and then he could marry her. That way, his job would be done too. Prince Will said that wasn't easy at all, telling her to wait for the right time and not to tell anyone about their relationship. After saying that, he hugged her. Tetra saw everything but didn't tell Alit. On the other hand, Devon dozed off on the sofa at home. His mom came to wake him up and heard him mumbling Alit's name in his sleep, which made Goani extremely angry. The next day, Kot went to see Henri and ordered him to get rid of Alit quickly. Turns out, Kot had emotionally manipulated Henri, making him do everything for her. Henri promised he wouldn't let Alit off this time, and would wipe her off the face of the earth. Hearing that, Kot looked really happy. After that, Tetra handed Alit a file containing info about Henri regarding the car explosion, and also mentioned that Devon had sent this file. Alit asked if the palace was completely out of talented people or something, that they had to rely on an outsider's help. Tetra replied that Devon wanted to help. Alit immediately ordered them to step up security until Henri was caught, and Tetra followed the order right away. Right at this moment, Kot noticed the increased security. She sneaked into Alit's room. Seeing Alit sleeping, Kot was about to poison her, but Alit woke up. With her plan ruined, Kot pretended to be worried about Alit. Kot tucked Alit back into bed. After that, she went over to the desk, checked the files and found a picture of herself with Henri. She was about to burn it when she heard Tetra coming. Kot hid the picture inside a pot and walked away. After Kot left, Tetra checked the pot and found the picture. She went to the royal photo archive room to dig up more info. Kot came back to check the pot again but didn't see the picture. She realized Tetra already knew the truth. Tetra looked through the old photo albums and found out Henri used to be Kot's royal guard. Looking at the picture, she guessed Henri loved Kot and was doing everything under her orders. Right at that moment, Henri walked into the room, finished Tetra off. The next day, Alit angrily questioned the king when she got the news that Tetra, her close bodyguard, had died. Kot explained that maybe Tetra was killed by robbers. However, Alit didn't believe robbers could take Tetra down that easily. She firmly demanded to go to Tetra's funeral, but the king wouldn't let her and said she couldn't leave the palace until he found a new bodyguard to replace Tetra. Somewhere else, Devon got the news about Tetra's death from Kat, and looked super worried about Alit's safety. His mom fell into a struggle between following her son's wishes and her own fears. After that, the king told Alit that 2 officers, Hin and Ka, from Devon's team would come to protect her. Alit refused, saying she didn't need it and could protect herself, and asked the king to cancel this setup. Somewhere else, Kat told Devon he should personally go to the palace to protect Alit. Devon replied he wasn't going. Kat said he would regret it later, but Devon replied he couldn't hurt his mom again. After his dad passed away, Devon had promised his mom since he was little that he would always obey her. Back to the present, Devon's mom came and said she knew he was sending Ka and Hin to protect Alit. Devon replied telling his mom not to worry, he wouldn't do anything against her wishes. Gawani said that when his dad died, she blamed everything on the king, but now she realized she was wrong. She said tomorrow she would go back overseas for duty, not knowing if the two of them would have a chance to see each other again. So whatever decision Devon made for his own life, she would always support it. After saying that, Gawani burst into tears and walked away. After that, Another flashback showed that the king had written a letter to Goani, asking her to send Devon to the palace to protect Alit. The king said he couldn't trust anyone here and needed Devon. He also apologized for the past incident and let her know this mission was very dangerous. Devon might not be able to return, just like her husband. After that, Devon made the decision to go to the palace. Before leaving, he sent his mom a text saying "Love you, Mom," which made her very happy. Next, Prince Will told Alit he would send guards from his country to protect her. Alit went to see the king and told him to cancel the guards from Thailand, because Prince Will had already sent people to protect her. After saying that, Alit walked away without listening to anything else the king had to say. While the king was with Alit and Prince Will, Kisi came in to announce that the officer the king called to protect Alit had arrived. Devon walked in, leaving both Alit and Prince Will stunned. Alit said she already told the king to cancel on Kat. The king replied that he didn't do that. Alit angrily demanded Devon be sent back to his country immediately, then stormed off and took her anger out by playing the piano. On the flip side, Prince Will also looked annoyed, thinking the king didn't trust him, which was why he called Devon over from Thailand. Kat said it wasn't like that. It was because the king trusted Devon too much. Plus, she heard the relationship between Alit and Devon wasn't just princess and guard. So Prince Will needed to figure out a way to kick Devon out. Prince Will replied that Devon wasn't on his level. The king asked Devon if his mom forbade him from coming here. Devon replied that his mom was the one who sent him. The king apologized to Devon for Alit's grumpy attitude, and Devon said it was fine. As Devon left the king's room, Prince Will blocked him and warned that his only mission was to protect Alit, and if he dared to do anything else, he would report it to the king. After saying that, Prince Will walked away. After that, Devon went to see Alit. Alit called Kisi and ordered her to kick him out. Devon said he didn't need Kisi's permission to come in here. Alit demanded he go back to his country. Devon replied that the king called him here. A soldier always listens to his superior's orders, and asked Alit to give him a chance to explain. Alit said she wouldn't forgive him. She hadn't forgotten what he said in the church before they split, that their relationship was over, and then told him to get lost. Devon grabbed Alit and said he couldn't let her be in danger, because someone wanted her dead. Alit asked who it was right when Prince Will showed up. Prince Will asked Alit if Devon was bothering her. Alit said it was nothing, then asked Devon who was the one trying to kill her. Devon replied it was Henri. Prince Will said the whole palace knew about this. Devon didn't need to fly all the way here from Thailand just for something so small. Alit agreed with Prince Will, saying Devon had disappointed her, then walked away. After that, Devon talked with the king in his room, saying there was definitely someone pulling Henri's strings and they had to catch that person red-handed. Kat saw Devon leaving the king's room, so she went to Henri and told him Devon and the king were secretly plotting together. Kat warned Henri not to come near the palace as long as Devon was still here, because Devon was very smart and would catch them. Finally, Devon asked the king for permission to search Kat and Prince Will's quarters. Right after that, Kat asked if they were suspecting her and Prince Will of being behind the attacks. The king replied that if the two of them didn't do anything wrong, they had nothing to fear, just let Devon do his job. Devon then led the guards to carry out the search. Before the search took place, Alit went to see Devon and ordered him to stop. She said Kat and Prince Will couldn't be the ones behind everything. Devon replied that the king had given permission. Kat and Will were cooperating too, so there was no reason for Alit to worry. Alit said she didn't allow it. Devon replied that everything was for her safety. Alit reminded Devon not to forget his place, insisting he had to follow her orders, and if he kept pushing the search, he would be punished. Faced with Alit's authority, Devon was forced to stop. Somewhere else, Officer Penn went to Argentina to look for Alan and found his house. Ka asked Alan to return to Rizit, but Alan flatly refused and kicked her out. After that, the king scolded Alit for stopping the search of Kat and Prince Will's quarters. Alit argued back and didn't admit she was wrong. The king's health was getting worse. He told Alit to let Devon do his job and stop getting in his way, because everything he did was for her. On the flip side, Alan walked out of his house and saw Officer Penn still sitting outside waiting. Alan asked why she hadn't left yet. Ka promised she wouldn't tell Alit where he was and begged to stay and protect him. Alan agreed to let her stay and left to buy some stuff. After getting a health check, the king told Kat, Prince Will, and Alit that he wanted to speed up Alit's coronation. He didn't know how much time he had left, so he wanted to see Alit become the queen before he passed away. Kat acted happy in front of the king, but behind his back, she was completely furious. In another scene when Alan got back home, he saw the house was totally cleaned up and neat, and looked impressed with Officer Penn. Not long after, Kat went to see the king and suggested letting Alit attend a public event, saying Alit hadn't met the people since she got back. Prince Will said he would handle Alit as security. The king agreed. Devon found out about this through Kisi and said he had a bad feeling, guessing something bad was about to go down. The next day, Alit went to the event with Prince Will. At the event, a guy suddenly fired a shot. Prince Will instantly ducked to dodge it. Just as another guy was about to shoot Alit, Devon showed up in time, took him down and rushed Alit into a room. Alit asked how he knew there would be an attack. Devon replied that he didn't trust anyone around her. At this point, the king praised Devon for saving Alit and told her to always stay by his side. Hearing that, Prince Will looked clearly jealous, while Kot was stunned that Devon actually managed to save Alit again. After that, Alit asked Devon that if he knew there would be an attack, why didn't he give her a heads up so she could bring more guards? Devon replied that if he had told her, she wouldn't have believed him and would have just demanded to send him back to his country. Alit said she never kicked him out, and even saw him walking around the palace yesterday. Devon said that proved she was paying attention to him. A flashback showed Alit secretly peeking at Devon. Back to the present, Alit said she wasn't paying attention to him, just saying what she saw. After that, Kot told Henri that they couldn't touch Alit as long as Devon was by her side, so Henri had to find Alan and finish him off to get rid of at least one obstacle. In another turn of events, Devon called Officer Penn to check on Alan. Ka said she had found Alan but couldn't spill where he was, and let him know she was currently protecting him. Alit snatched the phone from Devon's hand and asked Ka about Alan. Right at that moment, Alan showed up, grabbed the phone from Ka's hand, and threw it on the ground, smashing it. Ka said she didn't tell them anything. Alan said that if she wanted to stay here with him, she couldn't contact Devon and Alit anymore. Alit firmly insisted on going to find Alan. Devon tried to stop her from going out, but Alit wouldn't listen. The next day, Devon was forced to go with her to find Alan. On the way, Devon pulled the car over and handed Alit some food. Alit asked if he was only worried about her because of the mission. Devon said the girl standing in front of him was the person he worried about more than anyone else in the world, and he was ready to protect her for his whole life. Hearing that, Alit started eating. Devon stood there watching her. Alit choked and Devon handed her some juice, telling her to eat slower and chew carefully. Alit asked if he was a soldier or a doctor. After finishing their meal, the two got back on the road and arrived in Argentina. Alit's shoelace came untied, and Devon bent down to tie it for her. Alit rudely said thank you. Then she got tired, so Devon laid his jacket out for her to sit on and went looking for a place nearby to spend the night. Right then Kisi called Devon. Devon asked if anyone in the palace knew Alit was missing yet. Kisi replied no one knew yet. Kot eavesdropped on the conversation and found out Alit had gone out with Devon to find Alan. After that, Kot called Henri, gave him the heads up, and ordered him to quickly track down Alan and Alit and wipe them both out. Devon came back and told Alit he had found a place to stay. The two went inside the house. Devon cooked lunch for Alit. She really liked it and said that even though in the Rizet Palace she always ate at a huge dining table, she actually missed the feeling of eating at a small table with him more. Devon said he felt the exact same way. That night, after setting up the bed for Alit and getting ready to leave, Devon was stopped by her. Alit told him to sleep there because the room was big enough. The two slept in the same room. Alit asked why his mom let him come here and didn't stop him. Devon said his mom understood that if he didn't come, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Alit said she wished she wasn't a princess but just a normal person so she could follow what her heart told her, and then burst into tears. Devon hugged her to comfort her. The next morning, Alan insisted on going to work. Officer Penn got him a job at her friend's restaurant. Alan worked washing dishes in the kitchen. Ka went outside and borrowed her friend's phone to call Devon and drop the restaurant's location. Devon asked why he couldn't reach her on her phone. Ka said Alan had smashed her phone that day. Very soon after, Devon and Alit arrived at the restaurant, but Alit accidentally bumped right into Alan. Alan figured out Ka had leaked his location and stormed off angrily. Alit chased after him and demanded he go back to Rizet. Alan said Rizet was a dangerous place where people were backstabbing each other over the crown. Alit explained that he couldn't just run away from his duties. Alan ignored her and walked away. Devon advised Alit to give Alan some time to think. Officer Penn went to apologize to Alan, but he yelled at her to get out of his sight. Ka said she would take him back to Rizet, which made Alan even angrier, and he walked off. Alan and Ka went home, but Henri was already hiding inside and attacked them. Devon and Alit also showed up there. Henri tried to shoot Alit, but Devon jumped in to shield her. Alan snatched Henri's gun. He quickly bolted, and Devon chased after him. Before Devon could catch Henri, Kot shot him. Kot was terrified that if Devon caught Henri, all her secrets would be exposed. Henri recognized Kot through her eyes and felt completely heartbroken being betrayed by the one he loved. Devon arrived and saw Kot, but didn't recognize her. Kot ran away, and Henri's body fell off the cliff. As for Alit, she kept trying to talk Alan into returning to Rizet, but Alan still flat out refused. Alit walked outside feeling disappointed, and Devon also felt a heavy weight. A moment later, Alan stepped out and said he agreed to head back with Alit to catch the people who took his parents' lives. Alit happily hugged Alan tight. After that, Devon bandaged his own wound. Alit came to help him and said he had done way too much for her, and she didn't know how to repay him. Devon replied he didn't need anything in return. As long as she was safe, that was enough. Next, all four of them returned to the Rizet Palace. The king was incredibly happy to see Alan, hugged him and burst into tears. He thanked Alit for bringing Alan back, hugged them both, and said that from now on they had to carry the weight of the country together, and he loved them both the most. Hearing that, Kot shed tears out of jealousy and anger. After that, Prince Will ordered the guards to arrest Devon. Kisi ran to break the news to Alit. Prince Will told Devon that maybe he forgot the gap between him and Alit, that even if he sacrificed his whole life, he could never make up for her life, because she was the princess of Rizit and he was just a soldier. Alit stepped out and asked for the reason behind arresting Devon. Prince Will said Devon had secretly taken her out without guaranteeing her safety. Alit firmly stated she was the one who ordered Devon to go with her. Prince Will said he did it for her safety. Alit replied that she appreciated it, but he didn't need to over-worry. She trusted Devon the most and believed that as long as he was here, she would be completely safe. Hearing that, Devon felt really happy. Right at that moment, Kot screamed that Devon's wound was bleeding. Alit panicked and told Kisi to call a nurse to bandage Devon up. Kisi was about to go with the nurse but got stopped by Kot. Kot grabbed the medical kit and went to bandage Devon herself. Devon refused but Kot wouldn't stop. While bandaging him, Kot asked Devon if he cared about Alit so much because he had feelings for her. Devon replied it was just his duty. Kot said his eyes gave everything away, that he loved Alit, and he shouldn't let his true love slip away just because of status and class. Right at that moment, Alit walked in and looked surprised to see Kot there. Kot said she only came to bandage Devon's wound because he had saved Alit's life, and added that Alit was really lucky to have a guard like him, then left. After that, Kot provoked Prince Will, saying Devon was protecting Alit, and if those two ended up together, Prince Will would never get to marry Alit, and his dad's dream of uniting the two countries would be shattered too. Next, Devon got a call from Officer Hin and found out the guys who attacked Alan during the gold deal were actually Prince Will's men. On the flip side, Prince Will tried to convince the king. The king said he would talk to Alit first before giving an answer. After that, the king asked Alit what she thought about Will, since he wanted to marry her. Alit asked if this marriage was important or not. The king said it was important but he wasn't forcing her. She could think about it and then make a decision. The next morning, Officer Pen went to visit Alan. Seeing Ka standing far away, Alan told her to come closer and said he wasn't going to eat her. Ka said her mission here was over and she was going to help her friend at the restaurant. Alan hugged her and said whenever he had free time, he would come visit. Ka froze for a few seconds and then said goodbye. The next day, the officials told the king that Prince Will's country had a powerful military. If Alit married Will, Rizit could get back up to protect the country. Alit overheard the conversation and told the king she was ready to get married for the country and the people. The king was completely stunned. After that, Alit told Devon to take her to a quiet forest. There, Alit gave Devon a watch but he refused. Alit said she wanted him to always remember her. And only then did Devon accept the gift. Alit said she had made decisions she didn't actually want to make. Devon didn't get what she meant, just saying she was a princess and had to put the country and the people first. In another turn of events, the king announced to Alan and Kot that Alit and Prince Will's wedding was officially set. Kot was furious but still forced a smile, congratulating Alit in front of everyone. After that, Kot called Prince Will outside and asked what he was doing. Prince Will said Kot was the one who told him he had to act because Devon was slowly winning Alit over, and now he had done it, Alit would be his. Kot asked if he was actually going to marry Alit. Prince Will replied he would because it benefited his country, and then walked away. Kot stormed off in anger. Next, she met Devon and asked if he knew the person he loved was about to marry someone else, and if Alit had said anything to him yet. Devon froze for a second and then asked if it was Prince Will. Kot confirmed it and told him to go stop Alit, saying Alit only loved Devon and was getting married just out of duty so they had to stop her. Devon said he wouldn't stop her. He respected all of Alit's decisions and Kot should do the same, and added he didn't understand why Kot didn't want Alit to marry Prince Will. Right at that moment Alan showed up. Kot immediately walked away. Devon told Alan that on the day of the gold deal, Prince Will was the one who sent people to rob it. Alan was completely shocked. Devon added that he also knew about the relationship between Kot and Prince Will. Alan said they had to tell Alit right away before it was too late. Devon replied they should wait for the right time. First, they had to catch the mastermind who wanted to take Alit's life. Alan asked who that person was. Devon said he didn't know, but they were definitely inside the palace. Alan asked what if Alit got married before they caught the mastermind. Devon said if Alit married a good guy, he would congratulate her. Alan asked if the guy wasn't good, would he stop it, but Devon couldn't answer. Devon remembered what Kot had said, about not letting love slip away. In a flashback, Devon once asked Kisi if Alit married a normal guy, would her status be affected? Kisi replied yes if the people didn't accept it. Back to the present, Devon saw Alit looking sad and asked if something was wrong that she couldn't tell him. Alit asked if Devon knew she was about to marry Prince Will. Devon replied he knew. Alit asked how he could stay so quiet like that. Devon asked her back how she wanted him to react. Alit figured that meant he just didn't care. Devon asked if she had ever seen the sky and the earth blend together. Alit said no. Devon said he was the earth, and he was happy just standing there to look at the beauty of the sky without needing to own it. Devon said no matter what happened, Devon would still be Devon, always ready to sacrifice for her. Alit burst into tears and said he didn't have to be that good to her. Devon replied he couldn't stop himself from doing it. From a distance, Prince Will saw the two of them together and got insanely jealous. While Alit was trying on her wedding dress, Kot came in, pretending to help but trying to talk Alit out of the wedding. Kot said if Alit didn't love Prince Will, she shouldn't marry him. Alit replied that love wasn't important. She was marrying for Rizit. Kot asked how she would live without love. Alit said that no matter what, she had already decided to get married. Kot purposely pulled the dress strings super tight and then fake apologized. After that, Alit practiced dancing with Prince Will. Because she wasn't focused, she kept messing up. Will got angry and told her she needed to focus on him because they were getting married. Alit apologized. Prince Will turned to Devon and told him not to show up the next time Alit practiced dancing, because with him around she would get shy and lose focus. Then he walked away. When Prince Will left, Devon asked Alit if his being there really distracted her. Alit said not at all. She wanted him by her side all the time. Devon told her not to worry. She would always see him standing right there. Alit asked if her dancing was that bad. Devon said he believed Alit could do anything. Devon practiced dancing with her. And this time Alit didn't make a single mistake. The two got closer and shared their first kiss. Somewhere else, Alan went to the restaurant to visit Officer Penn. Ka asked why he came. Alan said he already told her. Whenever he had free time he would come visit, and then teased Ka. Ka blushed when Alan stood too close and quickly ran away. The next morning, Ka took out her anger by using a knife to cut up Alit's pictures, muttering to herself while doing it that Alit had stolen everything from her. Right at that moment Alit walked in. Ka quickly threw the picture into the trash can. Alit was about to ask something when she saw blood on Kat's hand. Realizing Kat had accidentally cut herself while slashing the picture, Kat started wiping the blood away. Alit noticed the bloodstain on the picture in the trash and picked it up. Before she could unfold it to look, Kat snatched it away and tore it to pieces. Alit told Kat to go see a doctor because the cut was pretty bad, but Kat angrily refused. After that, Alit went to see Alan and Devon, telling them about how Kat hated someone so much that she cut up their picture and ended up hurting herself. Alan said that Kat loved Prince Will. Alit was stunned and figured out that Kat hated her. She said she would cancel the wedding because she didn't want to hurt Kat. Devon stopped her, saying right now she had to act normal in front of everyone. However, Alit didn't listen and went straight to see Prince Will, saying she wanted to postpone the wedding. Prince Will asked for the reason. Alit asked if he knew Kat loved him. Will denied it, saying there was no such thing, claiming Alit misunderstood, and insisted that he and Kat were just like siblings and nothing more. Will told Alit not to make a big deal out of nothing, and also mentioned that in a few days, his dad would come to meet Alit's grandfather to talk about the wedding. After explaining things to Alit, Prince Will went to see Kat and yelled at her, thinking she had told Alit the truth. Kat said she didn't tell her, but if Alit knew there was nothing wrong with it, because she just found out the truth, and reminded Will not to forget his promise to help her get the crown. Will asked what he had promised. Kat angrily threw a glass at his head and threatened that if he didn't cancel the wedding with Alit, she would show Alit the video she just recorded, since she had already set up a hidden camera in the room. Prince Will panicked, apologized to Kat, said she misunderstood, and begged her to give him some time to do something for her. Kat demanded he leave quickly. The next day, Alit took Devon somewhere else. Devon asked where she was taking him. Alit said he once asked her if she had seen where the sky and the earth meet, and she remembered there was a place like that, so she wanted to bring him to see it. Devon was stunned when Alit brought him to her parents' graves. Alit said her mom was a normal person with no ties to the royal family, and her dad was the heir to the crown, but he still loved her mom and they got married. She said they came from two totally different worlds yet could still be together, so why couldn't she and Devon? Devon said he understood. Anything in the world could happen, but he and she still couldn't be together. After that, Devon took Alit to his dad's grave, which was also in that exact cemetery. Devon said his dad was a soldier who loved his duty, and he was the same. He loved his duty. Devon said he couldn't give up his duty to be with her forever, but whenever she needed him, he would be right by her side. Alit was moved and Devon kissed her. Getting back, Alit went to see the king and asked why he allowed her dad to marry her mom, a normal person. The king replied that it benefited the country, because that union helped them understand the people better. Alit kept asking what if she also wanted to marry a normal person. The king said she was talking about Devon. He knew that wish, but she couldn't marry him. He admitted Devon was a good guy, but that marriage wasn't good for the country. Alit argued back that when her dad got married like that it benefited the country, so why couldn't she, just because she was a girl and her dad was a boy. The king told her to stop and said Devon's mission here was over, and it was time for him to leave. Alit begged the king not to send Devon away, but he called Kat and ordered Devon back to Thailand. Devon immediately got a call from Kat. Alit cried and ran over to hug him, saying the king kicked him out because of her mistake. Devon said it was okay, whatever the king did was for the good of everyone. Alit burst into tears because she was about to be apart from Devon. Kat also found out Devon was about to leave. She went to see him and asked how he could leave so easily, when the person he loved was about to marry someone else and he wasn't stopping it at all. Devin said he gave up because he felt he didn't deserve Alit, but Kat was different. She had everything just like Alit, and he asked if she wanted to stop this wedding. Kat said he was talking weird, asking why she would stop it, and claimed she did everything just so Alit could get her true love. Devin said it was just the two of them here, so Kat didn't need to fake it. Kat replied that he was acting like he knew everything. Devin admitted it, saying he looked at Kat the same way he looked at Alit, and Kat looked at Prince Will the same way he looked at Alit. Kat got a bit scared for a second. Devin kept talking, saying he would leave tomorrow while Kat would still stay, so she shouldn't give up. She should fight and not let her love belong to someone else. Kat said he misunderstood, that she wasn't stupid enough to love Prince Will, the guy who liked her sister, and then angrily walked away. Devin smiled. The next day, Alan came to see Devin off and told him not to wait for Alit, because she wouldn't come to say goodbye. Hearing that, Devin left the palace. A few minutes later, Alit ran out but Devin was already gone. Kat started getting worried, scared that Devin already knew she teamed up with Henri. A truth came to light. Turns out Henri was still alive after falling off the cliff and was brewing a plan to get revenge on Kat. Next, the king announced that Prince Will would arrive in a few days to talk about the wedding, and everyone had to prep for a huge celebration. Hearing this news, Kat got even angrier, and Alan noticed her weird reaction. After talking to the king, Alan purposely provoked Kat, saying Prince Will was just using her so he could marry Alit. Hearing that, Kat called Prince Will to her room that night. Will refused, but Kat threatened that she would show Alit the video so she would know the truth. Prince Will was forced to agree. That night, Alit kept calling Devin but his phone was turned off. She told Kisi to go ask Officer Hin if Devin had made it back to Thailand yet. Kisi reported back that Devin had returned, turned off his phone and took time off. Alit was very sad that Devin didn't contact her. Meanwhile, Henri went to Kat's room planning to end her life. Right as Prince Will showed up, Henri quickly hid. Will asked why Kat called him over. Kat said it had been a long time since they spent time together. Will stopped her and said his plan was almost complete, and after that, she could be with him as long as she wanted. He would always be hers. Kat said a greedy guy like Will would never leave Alit after getting married, because Alit was the princess and the heir to the crown. She declared she wouldn't let him marry Alit, demanding he help her get the crown and get rid of Alit and Alan. Will asked if Kat was actually the one behind the attacks on Alit and Alan. Kat denied it and said Henri did it. Henri popped out and admitted he acted under Kat's orders. Kat was stunned seeing Henri was still alive. Henri sarcastically asked if she was sad because he wasn't dead yet. Kat threatened Henri with a knife, but Henri said he was so stupid for not realizing that someone who could wipe out their own family couldn't possibly love anyone. Henri snatched the knife. Prince Will rushed in to stop him but got thrown aside by Henri. Henri said to go tell the king that he had raised a snake in his house. Just as Henri was about to finish Kat off, Tetra showed up and saved her. Henri was shocked seeing Tetra was still alive. Kat took the chance to run away. Tetra fired her gun, shooting Henri dead right on the spot. After that, Kat purposely hurt herself and ran to see Alit, saying Henri was alive and tried to hurt her, and showed Alit her wound. Alit hurriedly told Kisi to go get the first aid kit. When Kisi left, Alit supported Kat. Kat said she had to go see the king. Alit took her to the king. Kisi came back to the room and didn't see Alit, so she called Alan to report that Kat had taken Alit away. On the other hand, Kat was taking Alit to the king. While walking behind her, Kat suddenly tried to attack Alit with a knife, but a gunshot rang out. Alit instantly pulled out her gun to defend herself. The one who fired the shot was exactly Devin. Alit asked Devin in shock why he was there. Devin explained that he left the palace that day but didn't go back to Thailand. Instead, he went to meet Tetra. Tetra was still alive and gave him the whole truth about Kat. Devin said the person who really wanted to hurt Alit was Kat. Kat immediately fought back, telling Alit not to trust Devin, claiming he was lying because he was the one who actually wanted her dead. Taking advantage of Alit being distracted, Kat stepped closer and snatched the gun from her hand. Alit asked why Kat did all of this. Kat admitted she wanted to kill Alit because Alit had stolen everything from her. The crown should have belonged to her but ended up in Alit's hands. The guy she loved was marrying Alit too. Kat said that if Alit wasn't around, all of those things would be hers. She kept going, saying nobody loved her. Everyone treated her like she didn't exist, and only cared about Alit and Alan. Alit said she loved Kat. Kat fired back that if Alit really loved her, she wouldn't have stolen anything from her. Alit said she never wanted those things. She just wanted their family to be happy. She said if Kat wanted anything, she just had to say it, and she would hand it right over. There was no need to go this far. Right at that moment, the king and Alan showed up and stopped Kat. Kat questioned the king, asking why he was ready to hand the crown to someone else, but not her. The king said he didn't want Kat to be in danger because of the crown, and didn't want to lose her, which was why he never gave her that position. He bowed his head to apologize and admitted he was wrong for not showing his love for her. Alit advised Kat to start over from scratch. Kat said she didn't want to start over, but she was happy to finally know that everyone loved her. After saying that, Kat ended her own life, falling from a high place and dying right on the spot. Kat's passing was a huge shock to everyone, because after all, she was a part of their family. At this moment, the king realized that if he had shown his love for Kat sooner, maybe she wouldn't have gone down this path. After Kat's funeral, Alan met Prince Will and told him they had found the video in Kat's room and knew the whole truth. Prince Will said he wanted to talk to the king, but Alan replied the king was the one who put him in charge of handling this, demanding Will leave Rizet and confirming Alit would not marry him. Prince Will begged, saying that if he didn't marry Alit, he couldn't even keep his own life. Alan ordered the guards to throw Will out. Before leaving, Will saw Devon and said Alit didn't belong to him, but she would never belong to Devon either. After saying that, Will walked away. After that, Alan went to see the king and said he had something important to talk about. In the next turn of events, the king asked Alit what she wanted and he would grant it. Alit said she didn't want to be the queen. She just wanted to live the life of a normal person, even though she knew that was impossible. The king said nothing was impossible, and from now on she could follow whatever her heart desired. Alit happily asked about the heir to the crown. The king said Alan was ready to take on this duty, and he was the one who suggested it to him. After that, Alan had his coronation with royal traditions and officially became the king. After the coronation, the king asked Devon what he wanted and said he could give him anything, even Alit. Devon replied he knew his place well, and knew he wasn't the right partner for Alit. Devon said he was going back to Thailand and hoped Alit wouldn't know about this until after he left. A few minutes later, Kisi came to tell Alit that she saw Devon leaving the palace, holding flowers in his hand. Devon went to his dad's grave, placed the flowers, and said his mom finally understood his dad's sacrifice, and next time he would bring her to visit him. After that, Devon left. Alit went to her parents' graves, but Devon had already driven off. She was very sad. Seeing that, Alan handed her a letter from Devon and said Devon told him to give her this letter when she was sad. Alit read the letter, in which Devon wrote that he wanted to ask for permission to call her Alit because she said she wanted to be a normal person. Devon wrote that if she was reading this letter, she must be really sad and mad at him because he left without saying goodbye, but he didn't have the courage to face it. Devon admitted that even though he knew they couldn't be together, he still couldn't stop himself from loving her, and that she would forever be his sky, while he would always stand on the ground to look at her beauty. Sometime later, Devon was vacationing on the island where he first met Alit. Alit showed up there too. Devon was stunned seeing her and then hugged her tight. Alit said she was no longer a princess, had given up everything for him, and asked if he loved her now. Devon kissed her and said that was his answer. In another turn of events, Kisi came back and caught feelings for Hin. After that, Alan asked Officer Pen if she would agree to be his royal guard. Ka agreed and Alan was very happy. Finally, Devon told Alit that now he understood why the fortune-teller girl once said God already had a plan for them, and no one could stop it. When Alit asked what he meant, Devon said it was exactly the plan to meet her that God had set up for him. Their love story ended right there. The movie ends here. Everyone don't forget to hit like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next awesome movies.